So we're alive. Hello. Emma is really excited for today's session. Wow.
Always.
So, welcome
Always.
everybody to Shiny Boy session 52. As always, I have to give a shout out to our sponsor of the month. Da-da-da-da-da. Sponsor of the month. It's JJ Malibu, and they've brought me here today. Well, I was here before they were,
Are
but
you sure?
I've brought them here today in the form of some cute clothes. I've got this nice, cute pink hoodie and these very stylish rainbow pants. They're very soft, very stretchy. They've got nice sizes that fit everybody. They even have some small sizes that fit a pretzel of a human being just like myself. So be sure to check them out! Exclamation mark JJ Malibu in the chat for your chance. Well, I guess it's 100% chance of having access to my discount code TheBarinade15 for 15% off at checkout. If you'd like to buy any of their stuff, go check them out. Lots of love. Thank you very much. And with that out of the way, we shall jump carefully and cautiously over the gap into the chasm that is this session. And today's recapper is, according to my list of recappers, since it was Lily last time, I think.
It was Lily, and then I was before that, so it should be
Emma.
Emma.
It is your turn on the
It's
stage today.
Yes. I'm gonna open up the notes.
Go for it. Open them up with vigor.
I'll open them up at a regular.
I will not have vigor.
Fiendish vigor, maybe. I like that spell. It's a good spell. Okay, so for last week, we opened up with a slight retcon, but with the vision of Cor's sort of like parents and what they did to him behind us. We realised that there's been some tinkering going on with people's minds. Some people have not got memories that they should have. And so we cast some greater restorations in order to get people's memories back. And what is revealed is that Calarel is actually one of Cor's parents, and that there is a sacrifice that needed to happen in order to bring back Zar, which is very upsetting. But Cor theorizes that his parent was being controlled by Zephyrs, and therefore could be saved, potentially. Cor and Jade said that they're in love, and everyone loaded up to level 2, and that's kind of like the retcon part. So, the first thing of note is that Jade got up early to get breakfast and discovered the Frosting Kingdom that lived inside the inn. It's inside a massive vault. There are frosting gnomes, and that's canon. All of that's in there. I go and I wake up all of our friends and bring them their breakfasts in bed. Tamar gets a bowl of lentils. Driti gets some lovely like French toast and fruits. And Cor gets like cupcakes and a bucket of frosting. All the frosting. But upon looking at him, Jade sees that Cor's face is cracked in half, and he starts peeling. Cor retreats to a bathroom where Jade scales the building to enter in to help him peel. At first, he is a bit standoffish, but eventually he lets Jade draw him a bath, and they are able to peel his skin off. Anyway, he also has wings now! Hey, Matt, he's got some really beautiful insecty wings with these like iridescent panes in them that he has no idea how to use, and Jade then proposes the concept of, get this, exercise, to which Cor withers. We then have a discussion about whether or not Cor has ever done exercise in his life, and I'm not going to repeat some of the things that were said, but blushing was done. Now, Driti takes some notes and tries to help sort of inspect Cor's wings, put some things down in her medical journal, making sure to keep her distance. And after this, she is able to tell them that Cor is fine and this is a natural thing. And that it seems to reveal something about his parentage. Right. So, Jade gives Cora a nice big dress t-shirt to wear, and Core does objectively look good in dresses. So, Core thinks that his new wing development might be useful in identifying his evil parent, and Tamar suggests that we restore Alaria's memories to find out more information. So we decide to take a little bit of time before we restore those memories, so that, well, seeing as that it was not such a fun experience before, we kind of go through the motions of restoring memories, etc., etc., and then what do we discover? Alaria discovers that Core's parents were not, it kind of confirms Core's theory, they were not always awful people. They were in fact wonderful people. The opposite of awful. So here are some plot stuff. Alaria remembered that Zephses is trying to construct some sort of portal to summon Orcus, but there's also another portal, a time portal of some sort, and it's missing some kind of seeds to work. Not the spiked sourfruit seeds, but Borealis Neohaven starfruit seeds, which Dritio has 10 of on her person, and reveals that nope. And Alaria tells Driti not to let Zephses get a hold of them. Of course, as if we were going to hand them over willingly. We discover the nature of fae and fairies and fairy tales, etc. And Jade posits that if fairies are immortal, the fairies probably hide to protect themselves from people who would seek out that gift. Okay. Core, I forgot that he did that, but that's something he did and it makes sense. Core considers that an immortal could be used to bring back another immortal, so maybe an immortal could be used to bring back many immortals. Alaria asks if both of Core's parents were immortals, and Core does not know. Core guesses that Zar was born into Grey Elf community due to the fact that changelings take on the characteristics of the communities they are born into often. And Alaria doesn't think Zephses is immortal, but thinks that she thinks that he might be draining the immortality of others. Now, Alasano could potentially be a power source for this immortality, as might Bronze. Alaria asks Jade if he might know where Bronze is now, but nope, we only have his book, and Jade wants more answers. So, considering how everything is strangely interconnected, Alaria thinks that Bronze might also be involved with Zephses. Jade points out that Bronze's arm, or a replica of it, was in the same room. And Jade feels like Bronze's arm isn't something you would likely part with, so it's most likely a replica. Right. Jade brings up the impression that he got from the books at his temple that fairies could have fostered a community that isn't open or kind of welcoming to others, and Alaria asks for more details about Jade's temples. It was a place of respite. The only thing they asked in return was that people who stayed there leave part of their story behind. Jade didn't know much about those who took care of the temple, but believes that he was carved to resemble their deity. And Jade doesn't know if the other statues will wake up eventually. Now, something that does happen is Emma had a realization, and then Jade had a realization. So Jade then had this realization that, oh, because these magical stones have crazy powers that make things not possible, that it was very, very, very much likely that the stones are probably definitely the thing that brought him into consciousness, and that's an existentialist experience beyond belief. Now, in order to destroy these portals that could summon Orcus, we theorize that we might need to connect all these stones together, and that could potentially destroy the stones and potentially destroy Jade, which Core will not let happen. We all take a little bit of time, and Jade goes to find a fountain to sit in, as he is wont to do, and Core joins Jade, still wearing his shirt. And they all get in, and they all have a cute little heart-to-heart.
Cute.
Yep. They have kiss.
I don't know why I felt the need to make a sound effect for that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. They have kiss. And Jade admits that he is angry at Bronze and thinks he wants to hurt him. Core is able to relate to the same sentiment. They have a lot of shared trauma. And everyone eventually shows up at the fountain. Driti comes and sits. Is she a Tressum?
I think she was a weasel or
White
something.
Jasmine something.
Oh, she was a ferret.
Ferret, that's
She's
it.
a little ferret. and
Little
she swims
wisteria
around
ferret.
the water and sits on Jade's shoulder. Now, all of this happens. At some point, Jade misunderstands the concept of marriage and the significance of it, and is like, "Wait, so we need to get married?" And Core then turns into a ferret also, and then we all leave the fountain. Core collects 3 gold, and that's it.
Cute. And with that, as you regroup together, it is now about, I would say, early afternoon, with your antics of the morning kind of behind you. It is approaching that sort of a late lunchtime, should you choose to embark on a lunchtime journey that is there on the table for you, in both a figurative and a literal sense, as lunch is typically held on tabletops. But that aside,
Okay.
the early afternoon is there upon you, and the world is at your feet. What would you adventurers like to do? Now that you leave this fountain, you have a few options. You have your place of residence that you were staying at. You've got a lot of places before you. It's up to you where you decide to go. Tamara looks like he's looking to the rest of you as if waiting for guidance.
Jade says, well, I don't know if this is still something we have time for, but we did say we were going to take that day trip. It looks to Corin specifically.
Indeed. That was something that was said.
Do you not want to? If you've changed your mind, I understand.
Day
No, I
trip.
don't really think we have anything better to do. Let's just ignore the Calorellans FC stuff for another day.
Jade looks a little bit like...
I'm not being
uncertain all of a
sarcastic.
sudden.
I will clarify. I know I always sound like I am being sarcastic, but I'm not being sarcastic in this instance.
I think this is a good option of things we could do.
There, Jane. Pats one head.
All right. To Capital, or wherever it was that the... was Peaches? Where is Peaches?
Where was Peaches again? I think she was in Capital. I'm forgetting now.
Told me I just got
She
Capital.
relocated there, I'm pretty sure, with a
Not
new,
Capital! How do we get there?
with a sort of like place where she can do the exact kind of tattoo that you were asking for. From memory? That's what you were asking about right before.
Yes, it was.
Okay, you can head to Capital. Now, how would you like to head there? It's a journey to get there. Vidridi does have the tree pillar, I'm pretty sure. So...
She does. She's a ferret for the next 6 hours, and she's not changing back.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, I think the reason I've been saying day trip is because I think you said we could get there in a day?
Yes, you could get there in a full day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well...
So if you leave now, and you just head there, you could get there, like, I think at nighttime, including the time it'll take for Vidridi to reform. Otherwise, it'll take you a few days if there is no pillaring at all.
Okay, I was under the impression that it was a day trip.
It will be if you guys use Vidridi's pillar. That's the fastest you can get there, probably.
Okay.
Unless you have
Well,
other
horses.
transportation.
We can steal some horses.
So you'd like to
I
look for a
also
stable?
have yes.
Alright. So, where would you like to look first? You are kind of now in the midst of the, like, district where a lot of people's homes are sort of built. And you've got a few different directions in places where you haven't been before. There's the kind of, I was going to say left side, the west side, the western side of this sort of colony here, where you've got like that teleportation circle that leads to the water plane, question mark. So there's that whole area. You've got like the academic district, which hasn't been like completely explored. And then you've got like the more sort of familiar areas like the marketplaces. You've got the archives, the library, you know, that sort of thing. Where would you like to head to look for horses?
Where are horses typically kept?
In
Edge of
stables.
the city.
Mhm.
I will.
That's good thinking, Jade.
Is there anyone around us?
Roll me a perception check.
Ah!
Jade screams and looks around.
No, he does not.
He does
That
not.
is
He just screams.
Never raises his voice. But 12.
12. Okay, he does not scream. With a 12, you're kind of having a glance, and you do see in the distance, you know, now that it's kind of like midday time, you see a few different things around you, even with your 12. Now, you're not looking particularly closely, and you're looking kind of in the distance, it's kind of hard to see, so maybe that'll like play into the 12 a little bit more. As you're taking into account the people around you, you do see a few elves walking around in the distance into various directions, you know, behind you, ahead of you, a
I
few
take
more.
one.
And also,
Take an elf.
as you approach an elf. There is another thing that you see as well with your role, is that there's like a small squadron or battalion of like soldiers, potentially, wearing more armor than the rest of the civilians. They also look younger,
I
these
only
elves.
need one elf. I approach one.
Alright.
One solo elf.
Who are you approaching? Are you approaching a regular elderly civilian or one of these more intimidating looking elves?
Definitely just, if there's just whoever is alone. One. Just
Whoever is alone, you find an old, frail lady elf, grey hair, very long ears that have grown quite far. She looks like she could receive some sort of signals from somewhere. They're very, I like to imagine just like really, really long ones, you know.
Okay. I approach. Excuse me.
Hello!
Hello.
Don't ask
Hello.
for her name. We don't care. Too many syllables.
My name! Of course!
No,
You may know my
no,
name if you'd like. My
no.
name is...
No.
Oh, no, okay,
please.
that's fine.
Thank you. I just need to. I need to use you for information. Where are there any stables around here?
The kind that house horses.
No, the kind that house rhinos.
Oh, we do actually have a rhino stable. If you head further down, out of the town, in this direction along this path, which you recognize to be the path that heads in the vague direction of capital, on your left-hand side you will see a stable with rhinoceroses and stegosauri as well. I don't know if that's actually the correct plural, but I'm going to say that in this world it is.
Okay, a shade says thank you.
You're welcome. Be careful though, there are wild ones about. Make sure you stick to the ones in the stable. Those ones are far more stable.
That was hilarious.
Have a good day, young ones! And she wistfully turns around. Her hair, long, gushing in the wind.
Gushing!
That's not the right word.
Gushing!
Her
I
long...
turn to my friends and I just say there are rhinos.
She just leaves.
Do you know how to ride a rhino, Jade?
Is it much different from a horse?
Yes.
I could just walk.
Let's try the rhinos. Sounds great. What have we got to lose?
They could be pink.
They could be pink.
And
Wait,
if
look on
not,
the bright
we can
side.
dress them up. I have lots of fabrics.
We do not have time to dress up the rhinos, but I appreciate the sentiment.
I want you to enjoy this day out.
Cool. Thanks, Jay.
Drita, you're still a ferret. I wasn't sure if you're aware.
Just sitting on Jade's shoulder.
Oh, that's where you are. I understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's where Core placed her, so she's just... That's where she's been.
I'll pull a very small protein ball out of my pocket,
Oh!
out of my snacks, and pass it over to Munch. It's got lots of nuts and fiber, so maybe a ferret would like it, and it's got a little bit of frosting too, courtesy of the Frosting Kingdom.
She probably eats everything except the frosting.
Oh, I see.
Really no taste.
I did bring a bucket of frosting for you, so that
It's
you could best
probably
enjoy.
gone running at this point.
Oh. Yes.
I would happily
Jade's
have the
not
frosting.
talking.
Tamar offers.
I was about to say the word. No.
You would?
I would.
Okay.
I'm gonna type the word into the Facebook chat, the word that Gorgeous said.
No, I knew.
Type
I know
it into the
exactly what it
Facebook
is.
chat? What? You gonna... What? Yeah, what?
I know exactly what it is.
React accordingly that he said that.
Oh!
Woo 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 woo.
He calls Tamar a tier 3 subscriber.
Tier 3 subscriber. Oh,
That's how I always, whenever somebody types it, that's how I read it out. Hey, I'm not a tier 3 subscriber.
I
What
think
does
you're a
that mean?
different subscriber.
what does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
It means he'll eat your melted frosting.
I would do that.
Well, anyway, we're wasting time. I passed the frosting.
3T
and I
just blushes.
Gritty doesn't blush. That's just me.
Well,
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Tamar has the small amount of frosting that was atop the protein ball, and you all head in the southern direction, roughly towards capital, but also towards the stable, which seems to be apparently house dinosaurs? Question mark. Also, by the way, the funnest, like, hilarious, most interesting behind the scenes fact is that I didn't make the stable up on the spot. This existed already. This is just here. Yes.
Are you seriously introducing dinosaurs into this campaign? I need to know this for reasons
Yes.
that don't involve wild shapes. I mean,
Yeah,
that
I
they're
am.
entirely for wild shapes, yeah.
I am introducing dinosaurs. I may or may not have already planned this in advance, but yes, they are here.
Oh my god.
They have a twist though, and it's a fun twist. At least I think it's pretty fun. It's just
Alright.
the title
They
of
have
the campaign.
feathers.
They do not have feathers.
Oh.
But as you walk and make
Big
your
chickens.
way, big. As you walk,
Have you ever held a chicken?
I have.
Yeah.
I've held it there.
And a duck.
I held a
ducky.
chicken, which is shocking because I'm terrified of anything that flaps, but it was remarkably calm, and a 4-year-old gave it to me, and I wasn't just gonna let
Oh.
a 4-year-old run around with a chicken.
I like how they
Please
go.
don't.
That's true.
What did you say, Lily?
I used to own a chicken.
Oh,
That's cool!
Yeah.
What's
Same.
its name?
what? Oh my goodness.
What?
Wait, repeat the name?
Fudge.
Fudge!
Wait, magic fudge or fudge?
Magic Fudge. That
Magic
was the chicken's name.
That's amazing.
That is a delightful name. I
That is-
love it.
That is incredible. I couldn't think of a better chicken name.
Magic Fudge is no longer with us.
Oh,
Aw,
may Magic Fudge rest in peace.
yeah.
That was an emotional roller coaster. I feel drained.
Let's go get some rhinos.
Let's go get some rhinos.
Well, as you walk and you find the stable, you are initially disappointed by one fact. Before being,
Are they
I guess,
tiny?
surprised. There are no rhinos,
Tiny.
unfortunately, as you approach the stable. At least none in the stable or around. Sadly. But, as you look, there are some other creatures that you may not have seen before in this stable. They look like dinosaurs. And there are a few of them. You've got, okay, so there's Hadrosauruses, Stegosauruses, there's some Velociraptors there too. And then there's also, I don't know how to pronounce this, is a Quetzalcoatlus. It's,
I like dinosaurs, and even I don't know what that is.
wait, Ellen, what did you say it was?
Quetzalcoatlus.
Quetzalcoatlus. One of those. You see all 4 of those, because they're also in the Volo's handbook. You see those in the stables, but there is something weird about them as you look at them and think to yourselves, what are these creatures? I've never seen Hadrosauruses before, or Stegosauruses. You may or may not already know the names of them. That's up to you and your characters, if you know this already or not. But, Jade, this is something that might catch your attention primarily. And it's that they are all, apparently, they look like, they could be, potentially, made entirely of gemstone.
Jesus Christ! It's Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Okay.
I'm
I will-
so confused.
I'm stupid. Anyway, so
No.
I will stop in my tracks, and then I will backtrack, and then I'll look at my friends, and I will say they are all. Look at them.
hmm
They're very sparkly.
What gem does it appear to be?
They are all different kinds of gemstones. All sorts. You've got...
Okay, so-
and it's hard to tell initially. You do see there's a jade stegosaurus as well. It seems to be made from jade.
Oh my god.
You see some sapphire, some ruby, some emerald, some gems you've never seen before that just look like a dark void with just these little sparkles that look like the nighttime sky. Some that look like they're completely reflective and entirely metallic. There's a bit of a wonky geometric kind of shaped Hadrosaurus that looks like it's made of bismuth.
So if I'm Jade, he looks over to the Jade. Rude Yakuza? Anyway. It's always the Yakuza cars that make that noise. Anyway. I look over to like the Stegosaurus that's made of jade and I just say, if I'm Jade, then is the Stegosaurus also called Jade? And he looks like he's having a moment of crisis as he's just like he
You-
splits into like
Would you
a
like me
million
to
universes.
ask them, since Druidi cannot do this?
Yes, please.
Okay. I would like to cast Speak with Animals.
Oh, yeah! Okay, how does it work? Give me a recap quickly.
I will need to sit down and start casting this. I will have 10 minutes to be able to speak with any animals.
Oh!
Yay!
How long does it last for?
10 minutes.
Okay.
I do this.
You do this. You sit down for 10 minutes and you channel the divine magic within you, Core. As you become one with the animal kingdom, you are now able to communicate with animals for the next 10 minutes.
Cool. Pretty swell. He gets up. Alright, what questions do you want to ask?
What is their name?
Which one?
The dinosaur, Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus! What's your name?
It looks at you, slowly. And to everybody else, you hear this sort of like dinosaur noise. But, Core, you hear Jade.
His name's Larry. I tell Jade.
Larry.
Yep.
Tamar
Jade, they're not
rolls.
all
Can
cool.
Tamar insight check you? Oh, wait,
They're not all called their gemstone. That's not the naming system.
This is phenomenal because
You're one of a kind.
or I am a lesser developed
Never mind.
version of what these are. They had the consciousness early on to pick their own names, whereas I didn't.
Alright, we don't have time for this.
that ability.
We need rides to Capsule. If you come with us, I will give you whatever you want. Do you want meat? Do you eat meat? Looks at the velociraptors.
No, we eat gemstones.
Gemstones? Ah.
Isn't that right, Quentin? Yes, we eat the gemstones.
Quentin,
Quentin.
what are they made out of?
This one looks like it's made out of diamond. The one called Quentin, but only Core would know the name. To the rest of you, this all sounds like.
Okay, I would like to make a deal with the velociraptors. I would like to get my bag of crystals out. I'd like to take a ruby. I'd be like, any more where these came from? And I'll toss one in the air.
One of them eats it. It looks like it's Quentin. Dale. Yes, Quentin. This was very delicious. Dale looks at you expectantly.
Dale, do you want one too?
Yes.
Alright, I pull out a quartz for him.
In the background, you see a quartz velociraptor kind of look in shock and turn around and walk a little bit further away from you, as this other velociraptor begins to munch down at this quartz stone.
Easy. Alright, Dale and Quentin, you're with us. Anyone else that we can
Okay.
get into this deal?
Well, the Jade Stegosaurus kind of walks over to you.
Jade? Larry. I'm gonna call you Larry just because it's easier for me to remember.
Okay.
Alright, we've got 3.
Wait, is there a ruby or another gemstone in it for me too?
You look like you would have... I'm gonna get an amethyst for this one. Just over.
It almost bites you on your hand, but it's careful. You know how like some animals seem to look like they're a bit like their jaws are kind of big, but it's careful enough that it doesn't seem to bite you. Thank you. I will help you out in any way that I can.
Wonderful. We'll give you more of these intermittently on the road, and you get a big bag when we get to Capsule.
That sounds wonderful.
Sweet. Alright guys, pick your dinosaur. I want the diamond one.
Okay, can you get another one for me? Unless, well, is Verdridi, as in ferret mode, not going to be riding her own, dinosaur?
Greedy. Looks at the ferret.
Dreedy's just kind of like nestled into like Jade, so
Well,
he's
I'm
not going
small.
anywhere.
Actually,
I'm small.
Cool.
I can ride.
Also, velociraptors are in just for the size canon, they are tiny creatures, so we might not be able to actually ride them.
these ones, I think these ones you'd find, well, it's kind of like a sort of fantasy setting. These are all, like, varying sizes. Yeah, actually, the Velociraptors are tiny. I was reading
I was like,
I was reading the Hadrosaurus and the Stegosaurus, but yes,
It's only me who can ride the Velociraptor because I'm the only one who can become tiny.
Velociraptors are tiny.
Okay.
The Stegosaurus, however, is huge, and the Hadrosauruses are just large.
probably only need like one, to be honest.
True, you could just need. You
Cool.
could just.
We can have one each. We can have one each.
I'll
And
ride
Druid
atop
be a
the.
ferret on my shoulder.
Yeah, Druidi doesn't need one. She's a ferret. She's not coming out of ferret mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tamar decides to put some of his belongings atop the other lone Velociraptor, who's tiny, too small to carry anybody. So the other Velociraptor can just carry some things, and he sits atop the huge Stegosaurus.
I'm gonna have to shift if I want to ride the Velociraptor. So I'm gonna attempt to do that now. Hopefully it is fine. I don't know if Thomas is gonna do anything to Core. So Core will attempt to become as close to a halfling as he can, size-wise.
Okay. Core, how does this look to the others, and how does it feel to Core as you do this transformation?
I think when Core does his changeling transformations, it usually looks like all these porcelain-like shells, like turning over and clicking back into place. I don't know if you've ever seen like illusion, like electronics. Yeah,
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like that.
Wow, okay. Cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Core looks pretty snazzy as he
And small.
transforms into a small halfling ready to ride this tiny Velociraptor. It's like a small child riding a chicken. It's kind of what it looks like, I think. That's like the visage that I think is most comparable.
Turns a little bit purple and just says, "You look so cute."
Who does he say it to? Does it say it to Core?
Yes.
Core just looks up at Jade. You're casting too much of a shadow for my liking.
Oh. Well, the sunlight kind of goes through me, so it's more like a stained glass shadow.
Mm-hmm. He thumps Jade on the thigh, because I think that's where he can reach.
You're very small.
Uh-huh. We'll get into what you're into later. He gets on his
No.
Velociraptor.
Alright.
It's
You,
more like he could put you on his shoulder.
Ooh.
It's cute.
Small.
Like
as
a
you
bear.
sit atop
It's gonna go
your various mats that you've got, you begin to head towards the city of Capital in an attempt to find the now recently moved capital citizen that is Peaches. She's hiding there somewhere, and it's going to be up to you to find her. And you're on your way. This method of travel is much faster than simply walking, so you manage by the end of the day to get there. However, there are a few things that you encounter on the way. First of all, I would like some rolls to be made. Jade, would you please
Yes.
roll for me a d4 as you embark on your quest? Pretty please?
Yes, no, I will.
Thank you.
I will.
And Aylin, could you please roll for me a d12?
3.
Okay.
3? Okay.
And question: how long does it take? 6 hours to get there?
It will take more than 6 hours. It will be maybe a 12-hour journey, and I think at that point you'd transform back in the late evening, I think, and then at nighttime you would arrive.
Yeah, she has. Well, she has 2 wild shape. By the way, the number was 2.
2. Ooh, okay.
And after the first wild shape, like basically when it starts to wear off, she redoes it.
Oh,
she's-
okay. So you're gonna be ferret the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that case, I think
Actually, hang on. Let me double check that she's going to stay a ferret and not change into something else.
because I think if it's another 6 hours, then your transformation would last pretty much until just after you arrive, and maybe half an hour or so after arriving, depending how long you wait to cast the second transformation. You'd probably then be scheduled to transform back shortly after re-arriving at Capital, as the whole journey would be about 11 and a half, 12 hours-ish.
Well, because she's on Jade's shoulder, she doesn't want to suddenly become a person.
Oh, so you're gonna just top up the fuel.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
gonna be yeah, she'll probably just go for a ferret again, just so that there's not this big
Mhm.
change to Jade's equilibrium.
She's just there, and then suddenly Verdrudy is just a complete Verdrudy sitting atop Jade's shoulder.
I hope you're okay, Pedruti. I say as I get on my Stegosaurus. How do I get on a Stegosaurus?
You climb. As a monk, this is simple feat for you.
Well, okay, I was thinking all of a sudden of a Bronchiosaurus, and I was like realizing that would be almost impossible and very painful.
You could
but
kind of-
Stegosaurus, yeah.
There's like these sort of spindles on the back, and you could kind of like hold onto one of these.
Okay, that's fine.
As they appear to be made of gemstone, but something you do notice as you get on, all of you, is that for gemstone creatures, they're quite soft. Like when you actually sit upon them. Now, they're not soft, like as
Similarly
in...
to Jade.
Not quite similar to
He's
Jade,
got, like,
actually.
Oh, okay. No.
They're a little bit softer than you,
Stegosaurus.
Jade. Stegosaurus, yeah! You can just hold onto little spindles on the back. I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna...
The plates.
The
Wait,
plates.
there is
they
nowhere
like-
he could sit.
No, I would say that on these, they're
They're-
spaced far enough
They're
apart that you
not
could...
hard. They're like
Yeah.
they move.
Cartilaginous.
Yeah.
But...
Okay.
as you sit atop them before you begin your journey, it does feel like these creatures are not quite as hard as you, Jade, as you might expect. For a gemstone creature, they
Not
seem
hard.
quite a lot fleshier.
They're not hardcore.
The legend over the rock was
Which
way
is-
hardcore.
Now, there are many reasons why this could be. It is just a different kind of creature, but that is something that you notice. And it is a bit strange. And a bit, I mean, Jade, you are also a little bit softer than a jade, the actual inanimate stone, as well. So, draw from that
It
what you
can be
will.
squeezed. Just.
You can be squeezed a little bit. As you ride into the evening, you just set off. It doesn't appear that there's anybody like tending the stable as you were kind of there. The general visage of the area, if anybody was looking in like any sort of great
No.
degree, it was just sort of like it's more of like I don't know if autonomous is the right word for it, but it's just sort of a shelter that those dinosaurs in that area can just kind of chill at, and they can kind of leave when they like. It's not like it's closed off or anything like that, but there doesn't seem to be anyone tending to it either, so they're just kind of chilling around and vibing. And you head off out of the Kingdom of Crystal towards Capital for a brief journey. On your way, with the roles in mind, you do see one kind of hostile-looking creature on your way. It's hard to say whether or not it sees you, but you notice it along the path as you run, as you go towards your journey, towards your destination of your journey. And it looks like a strange creature, almost like a werewolf, but with two sets of arms instead of one. And it's just kind of roaming around in the bushes and the foliage and the trees, just nearby the path, but it doesn't seem like it's going to do anything. As it watches you pass by, it kind of takes note of your presence. And it has a sort of... Yeah?
Can I make a nature check or a...
You can make a nature check,
investigation?
sure.
See if I can figure out what kind of creature this is.
Sure, you can make a nature check if you'd like to identify it.
Can I do an
Take-
insight check whilst Jade does that?
Sure, you
Not
can do
good.
insight.
Nothing.
For Judy, do you want to do something?
Can I do, I guess, an additional nature
8.
check? Because I was going to say, I don't think I can actually assist Jade being
can
a
do your own, yeah.
ferret.
You can do your own if you'd like to see if you could identify it as well.
Okay.
Alright, Jade, what did you get?
8.
8? You haven't really seen anything like this before, which makes sense. This isn't like a type of
Cute
creature.
Dog.
It's
Dog.
very much the opposite. It's got kind of a humanoid, like demon kind of face with these.
Don't tell me what I think. That's
It's a
not
cute
good.
dog.
You might think it's cute. It wouldn't. It's not conventionally cute, but it could be cute. You know, I think bats are cute. People don't agree with me there, so I vibe with Jade at least a little bit in this sense. This kind of actually looks like a humanoid bat kind of creature, but with no wings.
Neat.
Core, your insight check.
24.
24. It looks like it is eyeing you all up. In the same way that a predator might be looking around for its next meal. But at the same time, it doesn't look like that it's going to chase you. Now, through your very high insight check, you could probably determine that it's because it doesn't seem like it could catch up with you. It doesn't look like it's fast enough, so it won't catch you in that sort of sense. But it does look like it's kind of eyeing you up and seeing... It's got like a sort of... It would definitely try to attack you if you were not traveling on dinosaur back, you know, to your destination. But with that thought in your mind,
Dinosaurs, go.
you keep that in mind. And Aelin, your nature check.
That was a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, you do actually identify the creature. Now, it's a dark sort of hairy, kind of a hunched creature with a lot of arms. It's got wolf-like features. Hence, Jade's cute dog comment makes some... It makes sense in context. But it does also have these other sort of otherworldly demon-like features. And this creature is a Dragloth, which
What's that doing out the Underdark?
would strike you
That's
as
horrible.
quite weird.
Yeah.
For the exact reason that you mentioned. Because this creature is not native to this plane. It's not even native to, like, the Feywild, for example, right? This creature
Wow.
comes from, and since you've said it, I'll reveal it to you, it's a creature from the Underdark, of all places.
I didn't even need to look it up. I knew what that was.
You already knew right before I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
But yes, this is a creature that comes from the Underdark and is not native to any other planes. Especially not the material plane.
That's a strange dog.
A very
Okay.
strange one
Out
indeed.
loud.
Tamara looks around as you mention that, Jade. Okay. I've never seen
You
anything
don't-
like
you
that
don't
before.
agree? I
Sorry.
mean, I'm not a dog person. I prefer cats, but I know you have Penny, so are
I think I just like cute animals.
you saying cats aren't cute?
No, I love cats.
He loves bunnies and hamsters too.
I do. I mean, yes, I do.
Jade gives him an odd look, like, displeased.
Jade, you look displeased.
Just didn't sign up for cat slander today.
I like cats, Jade.
You think they're cute?
I think they're adorable.
Our first fight. You're forgiven.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause such turmoil. I'll do whatever I can to make it up to you.
No, you've done enough already.
I have not.
Oh. Okay then.
One day
Jade
I hope to
sort of
repay
walks
this.
off.
You're
You
both
walk-
on the same.
You walk off the Stegosaurus.
Are you not? Oh.
Are we? Unless
Yeah,
you
we're on the
are.
same one. We're the same one. Tamara
I
sat
thought it
atop.
was me and Dreety.
Dree's on your shoulder, but Tamara sat on that one
There were
first.
3.
Yeah. Wait, no, there's one Stegosaurus and there's 2 Velociraptors, I thought.
Yeah.
There's a Jade
Oh.
Velociraptor, and you've got 2 Diamond Velociraptors.
Oh, Jade wanted his own one, but okay. If he can't have his own one, he'll sit with.
Oh, Tamara didn't know.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sharing is caring.
I'll sit. I'll sit for the back.
No, it's okay. Okay, it's fine. Never mind.
Would you have gotten your own one?
Yeah.
Okay. You could have had this Jade one in that case, and Tamara, noting that that's what you would have wanted to do, would have gotten his own smaller Ruby Stegosaurus.
Jade needs time to recharge.
Okay.
This is not very sharing and caring. Not
Jade-
very
Jade
polyamorous.
needs time to recharge during the day. Socializing is a lot.
I think this. Okay, in that case, this argument would have happened across like as if you were like in traffic in like cars with the windows rolled down, like kind of like across the way
Wait,
from each other.
I did this RP last night. You said what? What about cats?
I like cats. I like cats, Jade.
No, I like cats too.
Oh, I thought you said you hated cats. I'm sorry.
You hate cats? No.
No.
I'm not doing that. That's not what happens. Also, Jade never raises his voice.
Oh.
But that's okay.
They have a fun discussion about cats and animals and stuff like that.
Or rolls his eyes and rides ahead.
Core, you ride ahead in your little Velociraptor. You shift into top Velociraptor gear as you overtake the rest of the pack. Combine those 2 words in the same word. And you will make your way through the evening into the night. As Vedridi, you recast your spell and regain... Well, I guess you top up the fuel.
After,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, after the conversation about cats, Dreedy does change into a cat instead of another
Oh!
ferret.
Cute!
So-
Oh, yay.
Cute.
So Jade now has a cat.
Oh.
Okay. So, you are now a cat, Vedridi, and you sit
love
atop
cats.
Jade's shoulder. And Jade, you're beaming.
Yeah.
As you
Quite
all...
literally, I glow.
You glow. Letting off like this ambient sort of jade-like glow off of you. As you travel, there is something that might hit some of you, figuratively, not literally, we're not actually entering combat, but as you ride, there's a thought that comes into your mind, which maybe it didn't even cross your minds initially, but it's something lore related, so roll for me in intelligence, check everybody.
Ooh. 19.
Ooh!
Also 19.
Ooh!
16.
Okay, you are all very smart individuals, and you all get what the DM is putting out. You're picking it up, and it's that while some creatures, and well, I say some creatures, but while the elves, the people of the Kingdom of Crystal, may have appeared to be much more gem-like under the aura and spell of the gems, stones, the big crystal-like shards popping up out of the ground that seem to charge everybody and kind of give everybody this sort of gem-like aesthetic while providing their magical protection. It seems like while these dinosaurs are now very slightly less sparkly and just more straight gemstone, they are still gemstone creatures. Now that you're far, far, far away, and in capital, actually, far, far away from the Kingdom of Crystal, it doesn't look like that these gemstone effects are actually effects at all, and that these creatures are all quite legitimately as gemstone as Jade might be. Not the Stegosaurus, but Jade the player. The character. Emma the player. And you all reach, and in the middle of the night, capital, you walk up, and the gate to the city, the giant gate that goes down, whatever, the drawbridge over the moat, which there now is on this side of the city.
I'm the DM. I can make this happen. I like it.
It's always existed there, but I don't actually remember ever describing it because I didn't have a sense of deja vu as you came back here. The drawbridge that is usually lowered during the daytime is still lowered now, but you do see that there is a goblin man who is unaware of your presence as you race towards it, about to start lifting it. And you see the drawbridge just barely start to creak as it's being lifted, and he's kind of cranking this big gear.
I yell, "Oi, keep it down!"
And he just keeps raising it. Doesn't seem to hear you.
I will cast something on him if he doesn't stop.
Okay, you are about 100 feet away.
Okay.
But rapidly approaching, 90 feet, 80 feet, 70 feet, 60 feet.
Can I do something as well?
Yes.
I'm just going to jump off the Stegosaurus and dash. It should take 6 seconds for me to walk to get 100 feet.
Okay, are you going to, jump onto the drawbridge before it, completely, closes?
Yeah, so I want this to support Core's spell, whatever it is.
Okay.
I want to draw attention. If Core casts and then Jade starts dashing.
Okay. Jade, you're dashing. You're dashing, and you're dashing.
You'll
Core?
be there in 6 seconds exactly.
Is there any...
I'm just checking.
Is there any particular way you're choosing to sprint? Now, you've got a cat atop your shoulders. Verdridi, you are experiencing a gust of wind like never
that's
before.
Easy. So, Tiny Fury used to
Yeah.
sit in his wrap whilst he did this.
Oh!
So Driti, you are clinging onto the inside of the wrap on his back as he runs. And Core, you will see this. He just starts dashing.
I would like to cast a firebolt where the guy is taking the drawbridge up. Not to hurt him, but to just scare him.
Okay. You cast a firebolt. Now, roll to hit. Roll to attack.
So I'm not aiming for him, so...
What are you aiming at exactly? Now, you've got him, you've got the gear, you've got the chains, kind of that are attached to the drawbridge itself.
Maybe the spot above the wall where his hands are.
Okay. This will be a reverse attack roll in that case. It'll be a roll
18.
to miss. 18? Okay, that is high enough that you manage to hit your target, and you hit just above him, such that he'll be spooked by it. He goes... And then the firebolt hits into the wall. Ah! And he lets go of the gear. And the drawbridge starts to fall back down. And it's on the ground now. Once again, there's a big cloud of dust.
Fear is dependable.
At which point, Jade... Hello.
Hello. And he looks to the wooden gear, now caught aflame. I'll be right back. And he runs off. And you're alone. Jade, you're there at the gear, watching it kind of burn a little bit, and it kind of fizzes out before it really gets anywhere.
That's fine. Is there anything I can do to help the others get across?
Well, as you watch now, it looks like the drawbridge itself is just kind of lowered. Whether or not you choose to raise the bridge after they've entered, as a sort of courteous, leaving your shoes at the door kind of vibe, it's up to you. But the rest of the party makes their way and approaches everybody. Everybody makes it there at the same time, except Tamar, who's a little bit slower. He's riding a much smaller Stegosaurus. You get the feeling that maybe this Stegosaurus is a baby. Or younger. And as he's riding it, everybody else is riding majestically, you know? Whereas Tamar riding, he looks like he's riding like a little... Like, you know how when you go to like the what are they called? Like the Dodgem cars or whatever at like at the festivals and stuff, and then you got like kids in the cars, and then like there's one dad also there keeping an eye on his kid, but he's in a car, and it's just a bit too small for me. That's like kind of the vibe that you get, and he's just kind of
I see.
riding this small Stegosaurus.
Okay.
And he approaches as well. Hello.
Okay.
Could have just shared the big one.
I wanted space.
I'm sorry. And he like kind of nudges his Stegosaurus a little bit, and he walks over a few steps.
Okay.
I think I can probably dismount now. I think I should actually carry you, little buddy. And he gets off his Stegosaurus and picks him up.
How does a Stegosaurus react? Do you mean Velociraptor?
No, he's riding a Stegosaurus. Just a
Cool.
smaller one.
Raptors.
Cool.
Yeah, Cora's on one of the Velociraptors, and the other one is just carrying some of Tamar's things.
Okay. So, Jade is going to just try and recall where is Peaches?
Peaches should be on the outskirts somewhere along the side, I think, unless I gave you a different...
I
place?
made notes.
Yes, okay. Jade, tell me what you remember.
I took a screen. Did I send them to you?
You didn't send anything
sent
to me,
it
I don't think. Did you?
I sent you a hang on. What I wanted to do. Scroll. Yep. I sent you the Sylvan runes. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, I know that part.
Yeah, and then you gave me some information about where those were
Okay,
in the city.
I'm
Hang
gonna
on,
say...
Let me see if... Nope, I don't have my notes here. I don't know where they are, but I definitely took some. I can't find it.
That's fine. I forget exactly where I placed Peaches, but I'm going to say that with your knowledge of the situation, I'll get you to roll for me an intelligence check with advantage to navigate your way, or you can roll a survival check with advantage also, to do with navigating, I guess.
Okay.
To navigate your way to Peaches' place.
What kind of check is this?
Either intelligence or survival with advantage.
Okay. It is an 18.
18, okay. Now, if this is not exactly the location that I said last session, we can retcon it and change it a little bit. But you remember being told that Peaches' place was somewhere on the outskirts-ish, on the edge of Capital, within Capital, also lodging herself in a sort of small library-esque sort of place. And so you walk along the perimeter of Capital, now having entered the northern gate from the north, traveling south. You walk alongside Capital, approaching sort of like the shipyards and the ports and that sort of area, which is closer to where you originally entered Capital from in the first place. And you eventually approach at the moment, in the middle of the night, as it is now currently, as you've arrived, a closed emporium, bookstore, library of sorts that appears to be closed at the moment. But it does seem to match your knowledge of where Peaches might be. And as you look and inspect this humble abode, you do see Peaches written above the door in cursive writing atop a plank that's kind of like nailed to the front, the facade of the building.
Doesn't she also have my cat?
Your cat.
Oh, was that P? Her name began with P. Poppy? Poppy has my cat.
The housekeeper at Avros's
Yeah.
place? Yes, I think so.
I'll get her later, but first, we need to get inside, I think. So,
Do we break in?
well, we need her to provide the service for us, so...
So maybe breaking in is a bad idea, you're saying?
Maybe knock on the door.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Should I knock?
Sure.
Okay.
You have a welcoming presence occasionally.
Thank you. I've never been told that, but I appreciate that, Jade.
Okay.
I'll try and knock a bit louder.
Cool. I'm gonna kick the door open.
Wait. Okay, cool, go for it. Vajidi?
Can I just do a perception check?
You could, yeah. And what is it that you're looking for as well? Are you looking like around or just at the building itself?
Signs of life from this place, like sounds of someone moving around inside, or the familiar scent of peaches. From
Okay, I'll give
Wild.
you roll with an advantage for me because you've been here before. This is kind of a familiar sight. There's not a whole lot to look at, and I'm going to give you a lot of information.
Okay. So,
You can tell Thomas is really excited.
My DM side is doing backflips inside of my heart.
Yay.
I can do it. Okay, 25.
25. That's a very good roll. Okay, as you look at the facade of this building, there is.
Anytime you hear that, it's me adding 9s. Just to be aware.
I feel that. That's me multiplying 7s and 8s right there. Or anything to do with 7s and 8s, I always freak out about it and I can't do it. But
That's
as
3 7s.
What's that? What was the question?
21, I think.
Yeah. Just wanted to say.
I struggle with that, man. Yeah, those gears were turning. They were... But
That's just hard.
it is unjustifiably so. But maths aside, that's why I'm not putting maths in this campaign. Okay, let's just avoid maths in general. We don't know what
Maths doesn't exist.
we have magic. That will solve our problems. Maths, who needs it?
Nope.
Am I right? I don't know how much things cost. It's some gold, probably, or silver. It's less than gold. Now,
Dismantle capitalism step by step. First, no more numbers.
it's just we're using magicalism. It's all magic. Magic systems everywhere, and everybody is cool and hip and with it. I sound like
That's the currency.
That's the currency. Currency is being hip and cool. And how hip and cool you are determines how wealthy you are. That's why Tamara's
That sounds
poor.
dangerously like that Black Mirror episode, actually.
Oh my god. Okay, so, Rodridi, with your perception check of the surrounding environment, kind of it's dark at night, but you get it's lit up. There's lamps and lanterns specifically, kind of, around and about. There are a few things that you notice. One, you are near the dockyard. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Let's do this in order of where you're looking first. The building in front of you, directly in front of you, looks like it is a store / place where you can go for services of some sort. If it's like a library partially in there, you do see like there's some sort of equipment in there to do what Jade is asking for. Just by peering sort of in, you've got windows at the front, big windows as well, as it is somewhat of a store, and you see lots of books inside as well. One thing that you do quickly notice is that there doesn't appear to be any sort of space inside for living quarters, which is unusual, which indicates to you that maybe this is a store only, rather than also living space. So with that in mind, you could probably also piece together that if Peaches does work here, which it seems like that's the information you've been given, that she's currently either away, or in an unlikely scenario that she really is here somewhere and it's just not obvious that the living quarters are somewhere here, then she's probably in a location that's far enough away from the door that the knocks from it won't wake her. Another thing that you notice from your quick perception check as well is that the door appears to not be locked either, as you see that it's slightly ajar, as if almost partially opened, but not in a way that looks malicious or anything like that. It doesn't look like it's been broken into, but it looks like it just hasn't been locked, from what you can see. Continuing to look around, there are a few other things that catch your eye that weren't so obvious initially when, it was kind of dark and we weren't looking around as much and we were just heading where we were heading. You do see that the sort of banners and things that were hanging from the walls and from posts all around while you were here last time, the symbols of capital and then the royal guard, the regal blue with the golden dragonborn sort of outline that I think I've showed at least once or something at some point in the past. Those have all been replaced with different kinds of banners.
Okay.
And these banners
Oh.
have a very different aesthetic to them. These banners are dark. They look like, in the nighttime at least, from what you can see, they appear to be completely black with what looks like, again, in the nighttime, it's kind of hard to exactly tell what color these banners might be, but you see a sort of a red symbol adorning these banners. And it seems to match a symbol that you're all too familiar with, the eye design that you've seen Medusa's henchmen wear in the past, up until now.
It's a lawn.
It's a lan! You see the symbol that you've come to recognize as the symbol that Medusa's mob wear. It's hanging all over the place. Now, what I was going to say about the dockyard before as well, continuing with your perception check. When you were here last time, it was quite busy and bustling. There were ships from all over docked at this place, but now it looks like only a few ships remain. Only a handful. Maybe only even a couple. It's hard to see from this far away. As compared to the many, many tens of ships that were here last time you were in these parts. Combined with that, while the capital is known to have a sort of bustling nightlife, there doesn't seem to be anybody out at night. It's completely barren. And unless there's anything specific that you're looking for outside of that, those are the immediate things you notice with where you are right now.
So before Core kicks in the door,
Mm.
Greedy jumps down, shapes back from Cat, and is like, she's not home.
Oh.
She does not live here.
Oh.
It's business. Also, there are Medusa things in her store.
Medusa things.
Jade looks anxious all of a sudden.
I could pick the lock.
It's not locked.
Oh.
It's not. Total.
Tamar reaches at the door and pulls the door open. Oh, you're right. Huh. I didn't even notice that.
Is it trapped?
I think we should leave.
We could investigate. I think we've come a long way before we go.
Let's find out. Let's find out where she lives. There might be information inside.
Maybe. That's a good idea, actually.
Hmm.
I guess it would be weird to live
Unless you
here,
don't
maybe.
want to, then we don't have to.
I've got a knowledge of the layout of capital I can help out with, try to find anything if you need. Core knows that I've lived here a while.
That's true.
Shall we have a look inside? Maybe we can check to see if it's trapped or not first. And Tamara's gonna roll a check to see. He's gonna inspect the traps.
Can I roll an Arcana check whilst he does his physical check?
You can roll an Arcana check for me. Anybody can roll any kind of checks they like if you'd like to do so.
I'm rolling real well. That's a 23, I think. Let me just
Ooh,
check.
okay.
No, it's a 24 plus 7 to Arcana.
That's a lot. Okay, you're doing your Arcana check. Tamar is going to do a survival check. Which is not bad, actually. He's doing alright. He seems to be checking the place out. With your Arcana check, if nobody else is checking anything, you're checking the place, the premises, for the presence of any magic. Of any kind, first of all, and then if there's going to be anything nefarious as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the immediate thing that you notice from your immediate checks is that there is a very, very faint magical aura that kind of oozes from the bookshelves. As if there might be magical tomes, spell books, that sort of thing. You've gotten that vibe before when you were in the library, originally with Peaches. All the sorts of magic books or tomes that have been around spellcasters for long periods of time sort of have this faint sort of secondhand magical aura that kind of like dissipates in the room and like oozes off of the books. Outside of that, there doesn't seem to be any sort of magic in this place whatsoever, oozing off of anything else. Or the presence of any spells doesn't seem to be apparent. Frankly, it's quite boring, actually.
Yeah, we can go in.
Tamar finishes inspecting, looking at the floorboards. If it's booby-trapped, it's either booby-trapped so well that I can't tell, or it's not trapped at all. But I'm willing to sacrifice myself for the greater good by going first.
Okay.
And
But Medusa actually wants to kill you.
Yeah.
So I actually think
was there any...
I'll go in with Quentin and Dale. He'll go with his velociraptors.
Wait, and Jade will grab Core. We go in all together.
Excuse me. Core's just dangling midair. I do
Your
not
life-
appreciate this.
Your life is incredibly valuable to me.
Put me down.
Okay.
Also, Jade, have you left the huge Stegosaurus parked at the front?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
Core
things
is
easier.
best buds with Quentin and Dale now. They're not going anywhere.
They're small, so
Okay.
they can kind of just like sneak around.
He keeps feeding them little bits of cords.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Jade will walk over the threshold at the same time as Core.
Okay, you both walk in, and you are greeted by
Arrows! Swinging axe trap.
the big axe that, you know, like in India. No, that doesn't happen.
Same
but-
as
We end
Goblin
up like
Rat.
Loran.
You are greeted by the... This is... Now, I don't know about you, but IRL, this is one of my favorite smells. You are greeted by the potent aura of library as you walk in. The smell of books and ancient wisdom and lore and knowledge fills your nostrils. It's brilliant as you walk in. And you inspect the area, and you kind of have this moment of like, ooh, this is kind of familiar, but at the same time it's kind of different. Different in that, like, this building is new to you. You haven't ever been to this specific small building that's kind of on its own, off to the side, near the port. It's just sort of a weird place to have a building. But you haven't been here before. But the part that is familiar to you is that all these books and tomes and crates that haven't been completely emptied and filled up the shelves and all that sort of stuff, all of that really reminds you of that same treehouse kind of library that Peaches was residing in before. So that seems all familiar. Now, it's hard to exactly kind of memorize every single book, but for the most part, it seems like the categories and sort of the areas are all mostly the same, although they have been condensed down a little bit. You get the feeling that maybe some books have been either stored elsewhere or have been kind of, truncated. The collection has been sized down to fit into this smaller sort of area. It's like a small sort of mom-and-pop size kind of store. You get like the counter to your side, like right when you enter, it's facing you, and then this whole sort of area where you've got these books on one side that kind of go against the back. And then you got this more sort of area to the side that doesn't seem to match the rest of this, but this looks like a sort of tattoo parlor-esque kind of section here. You've got like a sort of bench that looks like you can lie down on it, and there seem to be kind of, apparatuses here that seem magical in a way, but, don't appear to be anything that kind of resemble anything you're too used to seeing. But Jade, these kind of look more to you like tools, or some of the tools that might be used to, do the procedure that you're after.
Okay.
So it does seem like this is the right location. The other thing that does kind of strike you is that there is a large banner at the back of the store that seems to be hanging from the ceiling, which does appear to have the Eye of Medusa.
Okay. I start looking for a desk that might have personal information inside of it.
Okay. You start looking pretty much... you look at the store desk, like the cash register area, where you assume Peaches, if she were here, would reside here most of her time, kind of greeting customers, tending to them, and that sort of thing. And you just kind of have a look through. One thing that you notice immediately is that any money in the register doesn't appear to be there. Doesn't look like it's being stored on the premises. This is probably a standard procedure, you think, maybe, to prevent, like, theft and that sort of thing. Pretty standard. Who knows if that's a new thing or an old thing. But you look through and you're looking for any sort of interesting artifacts that might indicate where Peaches might be. Yes, Core.
Whilst Jade's doing that, can I look through the books, if that's all right?
Sure, you can have a look through the books. I'll get you both to roll investigation checks for me if you're doing that.
Yeah.
And we'll go through.
Also, I was gonna say, can I either assist with looking through the books?
Let me take a photo.
It's a nat 20.
It's an 18. I don't know how this is happening.
I believe you. But yes, Brigitte,
Yeah,
you can
okay.
choose to assist with whoever you'd like. Now you can make your own roll, or you can get anybody else to roll with
Okay.
advantage, however you'd like to do it.
I got an 11.
Oops, sorry.
11.
Sorry, it was an investigation.
Yeah.
Okay, one sec. I'll just send the photo and then I'll check.
Core seems to be zooming through the books as you see Vidridi, and Jade is having a bit of a hard time going through all of the knickknacks and random stuff that is in the main desk. So it's up to you to decide who you'd like to help out.
25? Can I ask for a specific bit of information?
Yeah.
I'm looking for information, first of all, on any necromancy, but also if there's anything on fairies, specifically weaknesses.
Okay. So you're looking for those two things. Sure. Vidridi, how are you helping out?
The Medusa stuff, I guess.
Okay, you're looking at all the Medusa stuff. Alright. Now, with all three of you looking for these things all together, I'll go through in order of who started investigating first, and then we'll go through everybody. So I'll do Jade's investigation first, then I'll do Core's investigation, and then I'll do Vidridi's investigation. So,
Do you want my number for that roll?
I would like your number, yes.
Okay. 24?
24! That is pretty good. Okay.
17 plus 7?
70 plus 7. That's hard for me. That would...
We have the same. Plus.
It's like my kryptonite, those numbers. Okay. So, starting off with Jade. Jade,
11.
you're having a bit of a hard time, in the sense that it might take you a while. Not so much that you wouldn't be
I'm
able
not
to...
going to stop until I get it.
Sure. I don't think you would have trouble actually finding the information that you're looking for if it is there. I'm just going to say with your role, it might just take you a little while, maybe a few minutes of just ruffling through all of this unnecessary, like receipts, accounting information, bills, orders to other places. You're just kind of, but you're looking through everything very carefully to make sure that you find the stuff that you need. You toss aside some old pictures, random sketches. It looks like Peaches likes doodling. You find a coupon for JJ Malibu in her folder.
Hey.
Exclamation mark JJ Malibu in the chat if you'd like to find them, and use my code BarinAde15 for 50% off at checkout. You see that in her drawers there, and you kind of toss it aside and you think, okay, that's interesting. I might think about that a little bit later. I might go check that website out. You think. And as you continue ruffling through, you eventually do find an interesting bill that you're about to check away, but it does seem to contain some important information at the very bottom. Rather than being delivered to this location, it is a book order again. It seems to be a sort of fantasy series that you've never heard of before. It's got a name in a language that you can't read at first glance, but it looks like it's being delivered to Peaches' home. And it's got an address there.
Yay, we did it.
25 Stab Your Back Boulevard.
Okay.
And
Let's not go there.
Tamara looks over and says, that's the boulevard I used to live on.
Okay.
And you
And
find
you got
that.
your back stabbed, so let's not go there.
They didn't name that for no reason. And he solemnly looks down to the ground as if dealing with some inner conflict and turmoil from old emotions. It's been a while. And he grins as he looks back up at you, Cor.
Who
I did
stabbed
some
you in the back?
backstabbing too. Well, it was Cor would know. We used to run some criminal gambling rings back in the day. It's been a long time, but there was a lot of backstabbing on both ends. I'm guilty of stabbing backs at myself as well, in a very literal sense and figurative.
It's a
But
long story. We
it's-
don't need to go into that or lay any blame now.
It's in the past. You know, we were all young.
Okay.
Some of us.
Well,
Anyway, but
I just, it might sound like a scary place, but
it's not all too scary. No, it's just retained the name.
if you don't want to do this,
Cafes.
I understand. You can change your minds if it's too much.
No.
I thought it would be a good idea. I don't know. Maybe
I'm just
I was
wondering-
incorrect.
Maybe we should get tattoos from someone who is hanging a Medusa eye in their store.
Maybe we should figure out what the deal is with that Medusa eye. And continuing on from that core, as you're investigating, you're looking for your specific pieces of information here. You're looking for anything to do with, remind me again, fairies or...
Any kind of necromancy or like forbidden magic.
Right,
Trying
okay.
to get some more. How do we fight Calarel? How
Okay.
do we do this?
So necromancy, as you know, is something that is taboo and forbidden from being taught, especially in Calarel. I mean, in Calarel. He is a necromancer. No, in Capital. Sorry, I mixed them up. So it isn't too much of a surprise to you that even with your really high investigation, that in the city where it is forbidden, you don't manage to find any books that even remotely mention it. Outside of some certain, criminal records that seem to mention people dabbling in necromancy, being arrested, and that sort of thing, that's about as much as you would find, but there doesn't seem to be anything even remotely more informative than that. However, with your search to do with fairies, you do find quite a lot of information, and then it's going to be up to you to decide what you think is relevant and what's not. Kind of going on with the themes that you've touched on before, leading up to this point, there are a lot of fairy tales and folklore-esque books and the history of fairies in media kind of stuff. You find a lot of information regarding that, and various different kinds of depictions from various different kinds of people that depict fairies in different ways. And you do notice some similarities here and there. It seems that a lot of the, human authors that you might recognize all seem to have a sort of tendency to describe fairies as these sort of, dark creatures in the night who, don't reveal themselves so much. And then there are some other fae-sounding names, although you can't attach them to necessarily any race in particular, because you might not be familiar with the authors necessarily, who tend to depict the fairies in a more fantasy-esque kind of utopian almost light, as these sort of magical beings of unknown origin that have powers beyond our greatest imaginations, who lurk in the distant shadows. It's a lot of similar themes that you see touched on. There are overlapping themes, but the way they're presented seems to be very different. But these are all kind of side by side, so you get the feeling that maybe this is a very old and historical. But outside of that, you don't seem to find anything that seems to be like a historical record of like, you know, fairies, their biology or anything like that, until you run across one particular book.
Aha.
And it has a title that seems like a Bigfoot conspiracy book.
Ah, yeah.
And it's titled
Great.
Top 100 Apparent Fairy Sightings on the Material Plane. And you've got a
Written by
picture,
Emma.
and it's got the cover.
Immediately, I need you to know if Jade perishes, he's coming back. I'm coming back as this NPC. Whoever wrote this book.
It's written by, the name seems to, you can't tell if it's a pen name or
Making
not,
fun.
but it's written by somebody called Shay McShay.
Shit. Fuck yeah. That's my backup character.
Shay McShay has written this book. And on the cover, it seems like the title's written these big, bold yellow letters, and there's like this like fake sort of spotlight being shone at the title to be like, it's just discovered. And then like the picture on the cover is this sort of like dark figure, complete silhouette in the nighttime, like with just eyes looking directly at you.
Right, here's the thing. Shay McShay, she is fully on, like, 100% fully like a modern day BuzzFeed conspiracy theorist who just inexplicably exists in this fantasy setting. She wears like a denim jacket and everything, and it's just like, it's all a conspiracy. I'm in a simulation.
Yep. So you do find that. And as weird as it sounds, that book is the most, well, this is maybe arguable at this point, but it seems to be the most rooted in reality as compared to the outright fairy tales that you've seen up until this point.
Do I get anything out of it?
You can read through it if you'd like to have a look. Would you like to read through it as I describe what Virginia is about to get through?
Yes, I'm looking specifically for ways to hurt or kill, or in other ways, like just stop fairies from doing their thing. You know?
Okay, so you begin reading through, and we'll get back to you with the information that you ascertained from your book as we switch over very briefly to Virginia. You are having a look. Now, are you just inspecting the banner itself, or are you having a look at like books as well, or any sort of information regarding that sort of thing as well? Or what exactly are you looking for? Or looking at?
Basically, anything that has this like eye symbol on it, anything that would
Okay.
kind of ping is like, oh yeah, she's Peaches is either involved with Medusa or like what is going on here
Okay.
in Capital.
Okay.
Thing.
So, as you look, and you inspect this banner, first of all, this banner looks to be clearly the newest item in the store. It looks like it's been a very, very recent addition, and you can tell this by the fact that it's still got its kind of crease marks from when it was folded up and recently unfurled. Doesn't look like it's been hanging here very long at all. So that gives you the idea that maybe this is a lot more recent than you think. Now, the actual symbol of the eye itself, this is the same sort of symbol that you've seen before. It seems to match the kind of symbol that the, you know, the dark sort of individuals, you know, that you've seen before. I think before as well in like the underground gambling sort of arena that was over the water. I think in that place where Dariel, I think, was it where Dariel died? I think in that area.
First time?
Yeah. I think that's a place where you saw like Medusa's kind of henchman, maybe. It seemed like that. And this is that sort of eye that you've seen before. You've seen this tattooed on, I think it was Brutus's neck. Or Brutus's neck. Yeah.
Brutus.
I think he had that tattoo as well. And the aesthetic of the eye and then the dark tarp seems to sort of vaguely match to the book that Jade has, which doesn't have anything to do with Medusa necessarily, but the book on the stones that Jade has had up until now, the one that Bronze took at one point. That book seems to be sharing a sort of color theme with the banner itself, I guess. Now, this could just be a sort of, like, this is up to you to decide what you think this means. If anything, this could be me as the DM describing this to you as a red herring. Who knows? But the red and the dark sort of black background kind of stand out to you in that sort of way, because it's not a very common color theme. It doesn't appear much in, like, other media. So that stands out to you initially. Then, as you're sort of kind of inspecting everything as well, there is something that catches your eye with your role as well, while Jade is investigating, which seems to be a sort of letter that looks like it's a little bit more official. And that seems to have a stamp, like a wax sort of seal, and that seems to match the eye as well. It looks like a sort of Medusa eye type wax seal. It's been like kind of stamped and closed and opened and kind of refolded and put back into a drawer kind of thing. So you can look through that if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well,
You have a look at the letter itself, and it looks to be, I'll summarize it without reading out what the entirety of the letter would say, but more or less for the sake of brevity, this is a letter that seems to be instructing the takeover of capital by Medusa's mob, specifically. You don't see any mention of Medusa herself outside of her being the sort of symbol that the mob seems to kind of worship, I guess. But they look like they have overtaken as a result of a vote, potentially. It's hard to say exactly from the context of the letter, but they are now ruling in the absence of any sort of king or royal family over the entire city. And as part of that, in this letter, the part that's being addressed specifically to the store owners of capital, they are required by law to hang at least one large Medusa Eye banner in their store, visible for all customers to see from all angles at all times. And that seems to be your connection to the existence of the banner, I guess. Outside of that, that's about as much as you see. There doesn't seem to be anything specifically, like any books that might talk about Medusa or anything like that in a more historical sense, seem to not be present in this store.
well, I mean, Drudy will show that letter to the rest of the
Okay. I think you would show it. Tamara would be kind of surprised, but in the sense of surprised at what has happened to the city, but not so surprised at why, in that context, the banner would be hanging there. But he would also look to Core and Jade, and also to you, Rodridi, for how you're all reacting to this sort of information. He seems to be
He just looks a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Just not at all related to that. He is completely in his own head at the moment.
Okay. This is strange. But I guess that explains the banner. I'm not so sure why there is nobody around. I'm wondering if there's a curfew that we don't know about. That's what I've been thinking about.
It would track.
Maybe if that's the case, we could just wait here till morning. Alternatively, and he looks to Jade at this point, if you do know the whereabouts of Peaches, then I guess we have... I mean, I can think of two easy options, but if you have more ideas, then I'm here to listen. I know where...
I believe that this is where she lives. Did I pull out the right paper from the desk?
Yes, I do recognize that street. I can guide you there if you'd like. So we can head straight to that place. It is quite late in the nighttime, so the alternative is that we hide here and rest in this store until she arrives in the morning or whenever the store opens, and we meet up with her here.
Alternatively,
yes,
if we do not wish to go on this street that is talking about stabbing people in the back, we could just maybe attempt to stay with Evros or find an inn.
We could actually go to Avros's place if Core knows how to get inside. And he looks to Core. And Core seems to be busy.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm here.
hello. Okay, before we continue, Core, what exactly did you say I would get back to you with?
If I find any information that seems pertinent about fairies.
Okay, I think the information that you would have discovered up until now, to do with, like, the book itself, as you skim through it, the only things that you kind of see, it's hard to tell whether or not there are any immediate signs of what fairies might be harmed by. It seems like there are some theories that the author poses about, like, sunlight for some of them, but then crosses that out and says this might not be the case. I don't think they're actually allergic to sunlight. She brings up a few other theories and examples. Onions, garlic, love, affection. And all of them seem to be completely unsubstantiated. But you do see a drawing of what looks like you in the forest. And as you inspect this picture, there is something that looks a little bit more familiar about it. And it looks to be, like, these are all kind of like paintings, but they're very, very well done. Like, the attention to detail is amazing. And this looks to be like the same sort of forest that you've gone mushroom picking in before with Ilaria.
You're in the book.
You're in the book. It looks to be you. But it looks to be you in disguise. It doesn't look to be like you in your fairy form. And the notes underneath it seem to be a sort of questioning, inquisitive tone. A sort of, is this a fairy? I'm not sure, but there are signs that I think point to that. And she seems to highlight a lot of small, little tiny traits that she seems to try to link to, like, evidence of transformations.
Cool.
It's very conspiratorial in the way that it's written, but it is you in the book.
I'm gonna steal the book. It's mine now.
Okay. And there is something else that you come to as well, as you flip through it. There is a big, ominous picture as well at the very back.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be a picture of a dark, shadowy hooded figure wearing a cloak, completely black. Looks to be a depiction of a sort of intimidating Calarel.
Perfect. What did it say about Calarel?
May possibly be a fairy. Very little evidence suggests so. Very ominous. Cloak covering wings? Question mark.
Okay. Cloak covering wings. Is there any information on, I don't know, like a typical law about anything we could use against fairies?
There doesn't
It
seem
seems
to be.
legit. No.
The most important piece of evidence that you could... Okay, I'll get you to roll an intelligence check for me, because there is something that you could maybe gain from this book in some way.
12.
12. You have a thought that if it's got Calarel in there, which is a sort of interesting pick, and it's got you in there, then maybe there's a non-zero chance that at least someone else in this book who's depicted, who's a little bit more easy to spot, might actually be a fairy too.
Okay.
So,
Anyone I recognize?
well, not immediately. And flipping through, it doesn't seem like any of the more visible, sort of noticeable faces that you see here are faces of people that you recognize necessarily. But there is one important distinction here. You do see that there is a plane listed underneath all of them where they were supposedly spotted. And you get the feeling that this Shay McShay person, whoever they might be, should you choose to seek them out, is somebody who goes out to various different planes seeking out fairies personally. So at the very least, there are faces there that are kind of, hard to spot because they're all from so far away. So you could seek out maybe the fairies themselves, or potentially this author, whoever Shay McShay might be. Those, I think, are your biggest leads.
Okay. Is there any portrait of Shay McShay in the book?
There is not.
Okay.
And you're not even sure if Shay McShay is a pen name or a real name. But at this point, after I think flipping through the book, this is when Tamar's gaze would kind of catch you. As the question of whether or not to go to this place, go to Avros's place, or stay here comes up. And Tamar says to you, well, Cor, if you know how of a way to get into Avros's place, we could seek refuge there, rather than
Oh, he always leaves it unlocked.
That's... Okay, well, okay. Well, that makes it easy, in that case. Isn't there a
We could also
housekeeper...
just break into the basement.
We could do that, I guess, if that's what we want to do. Is this housekeeper still at Aris's place? I'm assuming yes. I don't remember the housekeeper's name. Was it
Poppy?
Poppy? That sounds about right.
My cat.
I was thinking of Porter, but that didn't sound correct at all.
No.
Poppy it is. Okay. Shall we go investigate?
Sure.
Should we be sneaky?
Yes. Oh, speaking of,
Wait, what's happening?
we're going to Abros's house. Most of us are wanted in Capital, and Calarel wants me dead, and Medusa wants Tamar dead. I'm going to change into Baron. He changes form.
Oh.
And Tamar...
Hmm.
There's not really much we can do for you.
I guess
Kind
not.
of gets Tamar's hood and puts it up.
You could put makeup on me and make me into a human.
I only
They don't
brought
want me dead.
a pink hoodie. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's fine. It's
Okay.
great.
All right. It won't be too visible in the
Cropped
night.
hoodie.
Yes.
His dad bod shows through.
It's cute. I say, as me, IRL, not as Avarice. Not as Tamar. I don't think he would say that. So shall we do it? Virginia,
Let's
do
go.
you think we should go to Avris's place?
Seems like a safe bet.
I think I'll walk ahead with Core if
Okay.
we're heading out. And just try and put a little bit of space and just...
Rinchen and Dale are coming with me.
Okay, so I walk with the Velociraptors and Core.
They're my friends now.
And just like as like a little bit of space naturally kind of draws between us and the others, I'll just say, look, I'm sorry if I'm being weird. I wanted this to be. I imagined this going a certain way. It almost felt like this was going to be like the first date thing that I organized, and it didn't work. So I just felt a bit anxious about it all.
We are currently under threat of death. I think you can be more than forgiven by yourself for this being a little bit more dangerous than we thought.
You still want to do this, right? I just wasn't sure.
You just wanted someone to carve a tattoo into you, didn't you? That was the
No.
big problem.
All of us. I wanted it.
Yeah, but you were the one we needed the specialization for.
No, it would link us forever. That's why it means a lot to me. And it would mean that you would never unsee us. You would always know it was us, and you could never be tricked again. That's why it's... Sorry, maybe I didn't explain it very well.
Is it magic?
Yes, it's a sylvan rune. I just designed it to look like your diamonds because I thought that was something.
Could I do it?
I spoke to someone already and it needed to be Peaches. That's why we're here.
Alright, if you think we can trust her.
It would mean a lot to me.
I know, Jade, but we need to consider the wider situation as well, not just our comfort.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I didn't explain it well.
No, I get you, and it's a very nice gesture. I just don't want you to be as affected by our date falling through as, like, I don't know, homicidal bronze and my parent and Drudy's family missing. Like, I want you to
No,
not be taken down by it.
it's not that. It's just that I always found people carving gems to be a little bit personal. So I get a little bit sensitive about it. But if it was for you, I think it's okay. That's why I might be a bit more sensitive. So long as you still want this, I want it to.
Find Peaches tomorrow when the sun's up and we can do proper disguises, okay?
Okay. Can I also hold your hand, please?
As long as you don't pick me up again.
Okay.
I felt very tiny.
You are. I'm sorry.
Core just sniffs, brushes down his 6-foot barren body, and is like, you know what? I'm staying
you're
like
6
this
foot
for a while.
now.
Yep.
Right, I thought you were still halfling. Never mind.
No.
You're not small. You're not tiny anymore.
No.
That makes it all the better.
Cool.
Alright, so, if you're being sneaky in the nighttime, I would like for you to tell me how you're being sneaky, whether that's in the form of stealth checks or how you're deciding to do it. Hit me up. What are you doing to avoid...
Melt with stone.
You're melting some stones.
Yep, you guys will get plus 10 to your stealths.
Ooh, okay. Tamara's gonna roll as well. Now, it is the nighttime, so I will allow you all to roll with advantage as well.
26. Oh, okay. I rolled the same thing, 26.
Tamara really needed that advantage?
You do
Yeah.
get advantage, you get plus 10.
Oh, no, but you're also getting advantage. So advantage plus 10.
Oh!
26.
Because it is nighttime.
16 plus 9, 25 plus 10, 35.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Tamara's hidden.
26.
26, you're hidden as well. Madridi?
26, sorry.
Ah,
26! Also hidden. You fade into the nighttime. The shadows of the walls. You become one with them as you completely disappear from the sight of those who might be gazing upon you. But as you walk, you see that not only is there nobody around for the most part, along the streets of the night. You're keeping an ear out, and an eye out as well, and a nose out. If you're using all the senses that you can to determine whether or not the presence of somebody is lurking nearby, but you don't seem to get that indication. As you walk through, again around the edge of Capital, you make a long sort of semicircle all the way to where you know to be the sort of housing district closer to where Avarice and your fellow compatriots, where they have lived. As you walk through, you notice that most of the homes have their lights turned off. It is quite late in the night at this point. Very, very, very late. You walk. And you walk. And you eventually come across this street upon which Avarice lived. Now, these houses along the sides are the regal, giant, sort of much more expensive kind of homes that you know that suit Avarice's lifestyle. He too had a home along this kind of a street. And you walk. Core, you lead the way, I think, because you're with Jade, you two are in the front. You are having a look. You know where Avarice would have lived. And as you walk and you look around, a sight before you catches you by surprise as you walk to where you would presume Avarice's house to be. Instead, you see the remains of what once was a house that Avarice lived in. Completely dismantled, destroyed, and partially burnt to the ground, there is no longer a house that sits upon this ground. Fadridi?
Okay, question. How many of the houses in this district are burnt to the ground? Or is it all of them? Just Avros.
Just Avarice.
Can I try and message Avros?
You can send him a message if you like. Go for it.
I was gonna say...
Yeah.
Okay, go.
No, you go for it first.
Oh, he'll just say, where are you? Are you safe?
And you wait for a second. And then you get a reply. I was sleeping.
Avros, your house is burnt down. Don't come back to Capital if you're not already here.
And there's a pause. And then in a sort of snarky, sarcastic, joking kind of tune, you get a reply. Core, what did you do this time?
Trust me, it wasn't me. You're not safe here.
And then you wait for a little bit. And then you get another response from Avarice again, in his hazed, tired state. Ooh, how much danger am I in?
Oh no, he's liking this too much.
Tamara looks at Core with concern.
He's not in a relationship with Core. He should be stopping this word. These words.
Core, is everything okay?
Stopped.
Avarice is not fully taking to the amount of danger he's in with the reaction that I expected.
So he's reacting exactly as Avros normally reacts to things.
This is correct. I'll just have one more reply. Avros, don't come back to Capital. Don't make this weird. Your house is burnt down. I'm guessing the golden frame you bought is also melted, just so you know.
Oh
And
no, the oil painting.
You wait for a moment, and you get another frantic reply from him. Wait, what? My house is really burnt down? I'm coming immediately.
No, Avros, you dumbass!
He's such an idiot. And not even like a lovable idiot anymore.
No, he's just...
Literally an idiot.
He's just
He's
stupid.
just...
An imbecile.
He's just a himbo. And...
Himbalina.
It's the autobiographical movie about Avarice.
No, I'm gonna stop Avros coming back. Avros, Tamara and Jade are expressing immense PDA. You really don't want to come back for this.
Tell him I'll
Jade says.
crush his skull if he attempts to return.
Jade
It's
says.
Marvel
"This is
crushing."
PDA.
Intense
think
PDA.
Jade immediately looks down at your clasped hands and lets go, like blushing, like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Ouch.
You must have all been so uncomfortable by that.
Cole
I'll
looks
go
at
think
Tamar
what
and
I've
just
done.
shakes his head.
Jade goes and grows mushrooms in a corner. Hold handing. If talking to someone is PDA, then this must be awful.
God.
So I think Avarice would respond as well in this moment. Okay, I won't come, but promise you'll tell me everything when you return.
The message fizzles out.
The message fizzles out. He seems like he's extremely concerned for
His portrait.
his portrait and just his property being destroyed.
Can I investigate the remains of the house?
You can. Roll for me an investigation check.
So +6 or +7?
And for Drini, I want you to roll for me a perception check. Because I think
It
this
is
would
a
catch your
17.
eye specifically, based on what you were investigating. Did you say 17?
Okay.
17.
17. As you look through the remains of this building, for one, it seems like you get the immediate feeling that with the nature of this kind of destruction, it seems like that the basement, oh god, shudders, the basement, is probably okay. If you'd like to use that for a sort of place to remain safe and sound. A few other things that you gain from your investigation. It seems that the whereabouts of the housekeeper and both Penny
No!
and Fury are not here.
Ah!
They're not, at least you don't find them in like this rubble or anything like that, which
That's good.
I'll let you come to your own conclusions or thoughts about that. As you're searching though, Core, there is something that stands out at you. You do see something that is familiar to you in a way, but not in the sense that like you'd see this at Avarice's house. You see a napkin with a gold sort of trim, which you think could only belong to one person that you know, and it does seem to have some writing sewn into it, very extra.
Okay, I'll pick it up.
You pick it up, and you see in Alyssa's handwriting, "They are safe with me. Come to my home."
Doesn't she live just down the road?
She does just live down the road, yeah. They're very close by. But, Verdridi,
Okay.
your investigation, or your perception check for me, please.
It's a 28.
28, you are...
I rolled a 19.
You are scanning every piece of relevant information in this neighborhood. And there is something that catches your eye initially, which is that all the homes in this neighborhood appear to also have small banners that have the Eye of Medusa on them, hanging from them. But you don't see, as Core investigates the wreckage and rubble, that there seems to be any sort of banner lying on the ground anywhere here.
Do you think the houses would burn down if they didn't have a banner?
Ah, that's cool.
I hadn't thought about that, but maybe.
Alright.
But as you take that in, and you look around, deciding as a group whether or not to take refuge here, or in Alyssa's home, we will take a quick break to go pee, have tea,
Food.
and then we'll BRB.
Food.
So
Okay.
let's put a
See you soon.
bookmark in it right now, and we'll be back in a short while. Don't nobody go nowhere. I'll see you all soon. Lots of love. We'll be right back. boom, we have audio. That took me like 5 clicks to actually hit the little microphone thing to unmute myself specifically, but we're here, and boom, we have video. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Shiny Boys, where we're ready to shine out onto all of you out there.
Diamond.
So, speaking of shining bright like a diamond, you're all here, faced with the remains of Avarice's abode. Now, there was something that was pointed out before by, I think, Verdridi? Maybe? Or it might have been Jade. About the banners possibly being the reason for why Avarice's house might... Core. That might have been a reason why Avarice's home might have been burnt down. It's hard to say exactly why, but that is certainly something that you could think about and potentially draw a causal link between, at least tentatively, before we find out anything for sure. Now, with the napkin in hand and in your inventory, we have at least some idea of the whereabouts of, potentially, where the previous occupants of this place might be. One other thing that you gain, Core, as well, from your investigation, which I think I forgot to mention, but is important and integral to this story, at least somewhat, or it might not be, who knows, maybe it's just silly information, but you do get the feeling that all of this burning down of this house happened quite recently, as all of the wood and everything is still quite warm, radiating a sort of heat, as if done within the last... who knows how long? It's up to you to decide. But it is still radiating that, as if this was done not too long ago. But you also, just from everything that you've seen, this whole, like, takeover, change, shift of policies might have happened quite recently as well. It's hard to say exactly how long ago, but it all seems to be something that's happened hastily in a short period of time. In at least some ways that you've seen. That's, I think, a reasonable conclusion that your characters might be thinking about. But with that out of the way, what are you all thinking about? Where are you thinking of going? It is currently now past midnight, well and truly. You've got a few more hours of nighttime. You've got enough time for a long rest, should you choose to take it somewhere. Still, if you choose to sleep in as well, you could take it... you still have time to mosey around and explore whatever you like to explore. What are you thinking about? Now, you've got that lead as well to Alyssa's place.
I think we should scope out Alyssa's place before we go there, to be honest.
It might be safer to stay in the basement, since if it's still intact, no one's going to expect someone to stay in a house that is burnt down.
It's probably still intact. That place was his favorite spot in the house.
I won't inquire about that.
You don't have to.
Just a suggestion, but if you wish to stay
do you want to go down before us to make sure that we might not find anything,
illicit?
That's putting a lot of faith in me to remove the rather large pieces of illicit equipment. How about we just ignore them?
That sounds
I can
fair.
stare at the ground.
Yeah,
Or-
do that. Oh. Maybe just close your eyes. Actually,
That
Jade, you probably
somehow-
won't recognize any of them, so just admire them as abstract pieces of sculpture.
Okay. I will go down to the basement.
Alright, so... are all of you heading down to the basement? Okay. For a long rest?
Mhm.
Alright, you head down to the basement, ignore the large items, fade to black, you're having a nice night, having a long rest. Regain those hit points if you've got any lost.
We're going straight to sleep then, okay.
Unless there's anything you'd like to explore in there, I will, I think it's Avarice's basement. You don't find anything anything dangerous, necessarily. No clues or suspicious things of that nature. Well, some things are a bit sus. But, is there anything you're looking for, Verdridi? Is there anything you're doing here?
No, it was more so just, the players aren't allowed to have interaction.
Well, it's up to the players. How much interaction would you like? I can describe stuff if you'd like to. It's up to you guys how much you want to interact with Avarice's
I look
basement.
at the walls. I look at what's in the room.
It's tasteful.
No, I won't make you.
Eh. I think you could probably, look, you have seen the portrait that Avarice had hung up
You've
in
seen
his...
50 Shades of Grey, right?
Yeah. We've all unfortunately taken
It's all tasteful.
that road.
And a lot of what could be out here is probably packed away in closets and drawers, It's relatively clean. Like, it's all been,
Okay.
you know.
Avros had the maid clean up.
Oh, poor maid.
I'm sorry.
I think Driti is going to... Not Driti,
Dirty's
I'm
not
Driti.
doing anything.
I think that Jade is going to sit down
Mm.
and form a sort of protective ring around himself with fabrics and various pieces of furniture to block out. I'm sure there must be a tasteful like screen somewhere
of
that you
course.
could like fold out. There you go, a safe
Oh
bubble.
no.
One of
You
those like
offended Jade.
one of those changing screens that you like fold out like this, and it's like, you know, it's got those like little...
Driti looked uncomfortable, so I thought this was best.
No, Judy had like no expression whatsoever. She just wasn't reacting. She's just like, oh, okay.
I sensed privacy needed from Driti. Driti, are you okay?
I'm going to sleep.
Why?
It is late.
Oh, okay.
I will also
Do you need to open up?
head to sleep.
Would you like to cry on my shoulder?
He's not very absorbent, but surprisingly comfortable.
Oh, that has been enough of that for today.
Okay. Yes. They might have run out.
That does happen.
Oh, does it?
Yes, dehydration or something like that.
Would you like some water?
So you cry
To
more.
make more. If you need them.
Just pulls out her thermos. Whatever, like fantasy
They're
thermos.
canon now.
The cannon. Denim jackets, thermoses.
I reckon the
BDSM
thermoses could like
equipment.
look like just a little bit more steampunk, you know, because it's a fantasy setting, so they're a little bit more like, you know, bolted together.
There's a little
And
glass compartment with like a flame at the bottom that's continuously burning.
that's
That
cool.
would be awesome.
I feel almost bad stealing that and putting it to this world. Credits to Emma.
Hey. Okay. I think Jade will just like look and then pat. Whatever you're
Just
feeling
kind of
now
nods
is okay.
and pats. I'm not feeling much of anything anymore.
Relatable content.
Yeah.
So
Um.
I've been told I'm not comforting, so I'll let Jade take this one.
I know that you've lost your family and we still haven't found them, even though we've been looking for a really long time, and that was kind of the first thing that we set out to do.
She just kind of stares ahead blankly. She might be dissociating.
We'll probably find them if we kill Zepsies.
I would very much like to do that.
We can interrogate Kellerel after. With hot, pointy things.
She
You're hot,
produces
I'm
a knife.
pointy. Easy. Oh,
Oh, smooth.
I'm getting better. We have each other.
We're still alive. For now.
And, look. And I will stand up. And I will, start going through, like, the routine, like a stretch routine. I've heard these stretches can help calm the mind and ease the soul. We could do them together.
Sure.
I pick Druti up.
Mhm.
And I tap her down. Okay. Alright, okay, so you stand like this. Like, teach her the right stances.
I go sit on Tamara and pull out a bucket of popcorn to watch them.
Okay.
With
Look,
Dale
you can-
and Quentin on either side.
Tamara's
You
also
can have
watching
one of
it
these
from a
paddle
lying
balls,
pose.
And I pass you one of the the things, the fiber ball things. Boom, chia seeds. In hopes that Druti will feel something. These are I make them myself. It was a recipe that I learned at the temple. I won't put any frosting on them this time.
Thank you. You know what? I think maybe I just need to sleep. And you might get the vibe that she's just trying to run away from all of her feelings. That maybe she started to feel something again, and she's just like, no, I'm not. I'm done with this.
I will say, Drudy, how old are you again?
Younger than you.
Younger than me. I'm guessing you're around the age when I started to, not feel things. If you keep doing that, it will be exceptionally hard to ever feel anything ever again. Just so you know. It's my contribution to this exercise.
That was such Lincoln would get along with Core very well. Please exercise with me, Druty. Exercise releases endorphins, and endorphins make you happy.
I thought dolphins had endorphins.
Dolphins also make people happy, I think.
Oh,
Though I've heard they're actually meneaces, truly.
Okay.
No, I never
I read about
They are
some
definitely menaces.
How do you know?
They are
Have you met a
capable of
dolphin?
evil. Yes.
They are? Can you turn into a dolphin? Would that change your alignment?
It's a really
Y'all might
good
get
question.
the. Drudy might have slipped from neutral good to true neutral.
Are you a dolphin right now? No.
She will exercise with Jade.
Yay. Core. You are not exempt. You have wings now. You
Oh.
need to learn how to use them. Stand, please. Stand.
I kind of like it when you talk that. Okay, he gets up.
Oh, no.
Oh no! This is the only place, the only setting in which you can make this happen.
Oh no.
Alright, he shifts back to his fairy form. Okay.
Can I
I
join in
can't
as well?
really move them though. What do I do?
So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with some shoulder exercises. They're probably from the look of your posture, and I'll go over, and I'll sort of just like correct his stance a little. It looks like the new weight of them is dragging your shoulders down, and it seems that which is your dominant arm? Is it your right or your left?
I'm ambidextrous, I go both ways.
But if you have a preference,
He doesn't have one.
okay. Well, I feel like maybe you were naturally more reliant on your left side because this shoulder seems to be a little bit lower down than the other one, so we can correct that with some stretches. And I will
suddenly
start
shoulder
to.
conscious.
Well, Jade will
I
give
am
him a brief sort of like
perfect.
shoulder massage, and then just like a click, and then just
Ow.
go over to Druty, and then he'll be like,
Are you a chiropractor? That's so cool.
I learned about a lot of things in books, including physiotherapy and exercise.
Wow.
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 Wow. Tamara
Druty
stands
will-
up. Wow.
Wow. Would you also like? I can only do one at a time, but all of these. You should all do this actually.
Mm.
If Druty, what is your preferred arm?
I am left-handed.
Okay, well that makes sense because you're tilted to the right. So, click, click, click. Bo, 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 bo. All right, let's go. And then Jade will start giving you guys some shoulder things to do. And now when we work on the neck, remember, do not spiral your head all the way around because this is actually going to compress your spinal column. And that is not good for you. When you roll your neck out, you should roll it forwards like this and this. Come on, friends. Let's keep going.
Like this?
You are doing your best.
Okay.
Oh, looks like
And
he's
I
in
can see
pain.
This is very simple. I do this every night before I go to sleep, even. This
Oh,
is
this
a
feels-
relaxation.
Feels nice. I should do this more often. You hear sort of like a as
God.
You
Tamara
gotta
moves his neck around
remember,
it.
Tamara's in his later years now.
Hey.
Is that how orcs age?
He's over 30. That avatar was like, I took away your
I
bending.
feel fine.
Oh no! Oh, I feel that means so much. Oh.
I love sitting cross-legged and like just on the floor and like like this. I do this a lot,
Hmm.
like just holding my leg. Lily can attest to this. So I hope that never happens to me. Because my dad can't even sit cross-legged.
That's a flexibility thing. I think if you do it now and you keep it up, you won't lose it.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's gonna stay in practice.
I mean, it's that thing of like my spine is completely like borked, but I can still do the splits.
Whee!
oh, that's cool.
Alien is cool.
Alien is cool. Let's start the Alien is Cool fan club right here. Tamar turns to you, Core.
Hey.
I forgot what he was gonna say. Wait, give me one moment. He turns to you, pauses for a moment.
You can stretch my wing if you like.
Okay, I think I had something to say to you, but no, I actually just legitimately don't remember. I'll hold it lightly.
No, pull it out. Do it. Go.
Okay. He gently pulls.
How far do they extend?
They extend a little bit, and then they start getting a bit sore, and you feel like this sort of piercing pain again once he stretches them a little bit further than you're used to. Corey, you look like this is like
Oh, this is fine. This is great.
all the way.
Just go.
No, wait, no, that's not. Stop.
Hmm.
Stop.
If something hurts, it's not good for you.
Okay.
I did
Trust
not
me.
learn that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, you should never push your body past the limits of pain.
Mm.
So,
Claw looks
Treat-
around the room. Uh-huh.
Jade is oblivious. Treat
Tamar's
this
concerned.
limb. Treat these wings like extra limbs. If you had a broken arm or an arm popped out of its socket, you would not keep twisting it until it popped back into place. If it was painful,
No.
you could break your arm that
wouldn't
way.
do that.
No.
Wouldn't do that.
So, instead, what you can do is you can treat it like a limb and just slowly stretch it as far as you can. Even if you even if you can do a little bit today, that's a good starting point.
Okay.
Tamar gently releases, and then he says to you, "Okay, we'll do the other one as well, but I will only stretch as far as is not
Well,
too
they're
painful."
comfortable.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't want to reach the absolute pain threshold. But you've got to let me know, Core. Alright. He gently grabs your wing and mimics the motion he did with the previous one and pulls it a little bit. And once he pulls it a little bit, it's okay for a little bit. And then it starts to get to the point where it starts to hurt again.
He lets it get to the point of like discomfort, and then he's like, "Okay, stop."
Okay, this is about where I brought the other one. I'll gently let go now. Put it back. Okay, we have a little way to go, but I think it's definitely more than you could do before.
If I had good parents, I could fly.
Well, I was actually thinking there are ways that you could learn how to fly.
Oh my
Throw
god.
me in the air.
No, but I've been devising this.
Nope.
The most important thing is to have control,
Mhm.
and to start small. Throwing you into the
I
air
am
is not a
small.
way in which you have control, and it is not a way in which you can
Throw
sort of
me
necessarily control.
off a cliff.
You jump.
I jump
Just-
off a cliff. That's even better.
Just standing on the ground, a flat
Mhm.
surface, you jump and you come back down. If you jump, you know how to launch yourself into flight. If someone throws you, you have no idea, and there's no way you'll ever learn how to fly from a standstill.
It is fun to be thrown though.
We can work on that eventually. We can do combo moves.
Yeah.
But just jump slightly.
Wood jumps.
Yep.
It's a bit heavier than I'm used to. He rolls the wings back.
You can just in your own time, as you feel more comfortable with the wings, repeat that motion, and we can slowly build up to it.
I think as you do this, Tamar looks at you, Core. I just remembered.
Mhm.
Should we let Ilaria know where we are?
Valaria's with us, right?
Nope.
What?
Alaria and Valentina should have come with us.
Yeah, they should have come with us.
Yeah, they would have been with us.
Okay, if you
'Cause
would
they
have...
were,
We can retcon
they were
that
with
in.
us at the stables, so...
Well, they were with you at the water fountain.
Yeah, and we all.
I
went to
just
the stable together.
I just assumed you weren't mentioning them.
I was just waiting for you guys to say something. Like, okay, we can. If
okay,
you
we
would
have
have
brought them.
if you would have brought them, then they're just silently with you.
Okay.
Yeah. They've been very quiet this whole time.
Alaria
Alaria's
speaks up
just
for
sitting
this.
through all of Core's innuendo, like, no.
I won't go back and add in anything that they would have said, but let's just say that they would have made appropriate character relevant comments here and there, just sort of.
Oh, cover Valentina's eyes. She's 14. Cover them. Blindfold.
Oh my god!
Blindfold.
She's not allowed in here. No. She's sitting outside.
Blindfold.
No, there's literally like nowhere else outside for her to go.
Cole will make a tiny hut inside this horrible chamber. A safe hut.
We can do one of two things. We can either retcon that they came with you, or we can retcon that when Avros was messaging you that he had met up with them and they're with him.
I don't think we're leaving our NPCs ever again.
Okay, then they're with you.
No. If you introduce an NPC and we like them, we're just going to be like, we'll keep this one. You
Okay,
did
okay.
this to me, and now it is my fate to do it upon to you too.
Okay.
You love Lorans with us.
I do. However, I do sometimes get a little anxious because you want to make sure that you're always delivering on the content.
Hold
But I
on.
love him so much.
I have a
It makes-
video prepared for this interaction exactly. It may
it
take
makes
me a minute to find
anxious.
it.
I don't want to let you guys down.
Hold on. Oh, this was a while ago. I will find it because it is perfect.
Okay, I wait.
Bo-bo-bo-bo-bo.
That was.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. You have that on your phone. What?
Well, how far back is that from?
Exposed.
That's from 2019.
Wow, okay.
You
Oh
do
It's
my
when
God.
Lorraine came back. She's like, I love
love
Lorraine.
Loran. I do love him so
I
much.
missed him.
The thing I have is that I just want to make sure that you guys always in me, and I feel a little anxious. Wanna make
Love
sure.
the Dahanes.
We love them very much. Always
Yes.
have a great time.
Gwa.
But with that, Alaria looks at your wings, Core, as she's been here the whole time. How are you feeling about everything? With your wings, I mean.
They're there.
It looks like you can stretch them a bit further than you could before.
Mhm.
Did they hurt? A lot?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder if they'll grow feathers.
I'm not an angel.
Hmm.
They look more like insect wings. And he kind of like turns around.
Tamara, pokes out. I think they're
And
more
confirm.
webbed.
Huh?
They look like they're not. I don't think they're going to grow feathers.
Did you
No,
say something?
I think that they're more
Oh,
like
she did. She said.
dragonfly wings.
Yeah, she said. Can confirm. That's all she said. that they look like dragonfly wings, or they look like insectoid.
They look more like that, I think, yeah.
Nice that you think I'm an angel. They were like,
Oh,
shit.
sorry, I don't know much about how wings
You
form.
saved me, so maybe
Gorgeous.
I'm doing my best.
Cora's
was-
there like, I'm not an angel, and Jade is just like, but you kind of are.
Saved me.
You're saved
Cor
on me.
thinks that was very cute, but he's just like, I'm appreciating this angel thing going on. But
I hold his hand.
Valentina, who has also been here this whole time, is
Yeah.
staring with wide eyes at the rest of this room.
no, she's not.
No.
She's in the tiny hut. That's where Cor put
And
her.
we've also blindfolded her.
Okay. She's in the hut. Can I come out now?
No.
No.
Okay, do you want me to just sleep in here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to restore her memory so she is, a fully adult.
Maybe in the morning.
Maybe in the morning. I don't know how she's going to react to us.
Yeah.
Would
maybe
rather
I'll
do
try
it
that.
tonight so that then we can just have maximum magic tomorrow.
Actually, sure. That's a good idea.
Alright, you go in the hut with her then.
Alternatively, you could do this at the surface level, just so that she doesn't see the rest of us hiding down here in case anything does happen.
Oh yeah, true.
Is there a way you could restore her memories?
She already knows that we're down here.
She does know that, doesn't she? I guess the new memories won't overwrite her old memories.
Unless that's how it works. We don't really understand this magic.
Well, Ilaria, has it written anything you remember? Tamar, if I remembered that... How could I remember that? If it overwrote anything, I wouldn't know.
Didn't overwrite anything with me, but my stuff happened when I was a baby.
If things go wrong, things go wrong. We fix it. It will be fine. Right?
Okay.
We have lots of equipment here to restrain her with. There we go.
That too.
What if we restrain her preemptively?
That is a great idea. As
Just in
uncomfortable as
case.
it may be.
Okay.
We're not using anything in this room to do it.
Wow.
I will just... No. I'll
Well,
hold her down.
I'll
I'll just hold her hands. I'm strong.
I do actually have normal adventurer's rope. Actually, 50 feet of it, if we need to use it for anything.
That's
I
fine.
can do shibari.
I think that this could be a problem.
Why? I can quick release it.
Maybe
It's
we
better
could
than
use...
you just tying knots everywhere.
Sure, we could
No, that's
incorporate
less
that.
time more. We are in a dungeon full of provocative things. Also, I'm just understand.
No, she's in a hut.
It seems like most of
can't
that
see
stuff
it.
is packed away, at
Nope.
least. At the very least.
Okay, fine. All right, then
I think this
I
is more of
withdraw
just a
my
basement
wands.
that's used for a variety of things, rather than a sex dungeon, if that's what you're referring to, Jade.
We did other things down here. Played charades.
I see a billiards table over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make with the spells, right?
Okay.
Valentina, you ready to have potential memories back?
Yeah, I guess so. Am I being tied down? Yes.
tie down.
Okay. If you think it's the best, but I won't stop you from doing it, I guess. You have no reason to trust me.
Oh, no, we trust you. We just don't know how your older self will be.
I don't trust you at all.
There we go.
That's why I'm tying you down, at least. I just don't trust you even one bit. Okay.
Valentina, I like you. Please remember that when you get your memories back.
Okay, I think you all are very nice, wonderful. Okay, sure.
Welcome to the book club.
Thanks, it's been
Character,
nice.
That's the group name.
If anything changes about the way I think about you all, then I'm sorry.
Well, you probably know what's going on, so we can ask you then.
Yeah. Okay, alright.
Alright.
Here we go.
Alright, so, Tamar takes a little while. And before we actually do this, let me just open up something very quickly. Because I need to open up a different character sheet now. You are getting your spells ready. As Tamar takes his time with Kor's important aid to completely restrain Valentina to the ground. And Rodrigo, if you'd like to, it's up to you. How
Please
you
don't.
like to do this?
She just does it.
All right. Does the spell take a certain amount of time, or how does it work exactly? Is it just instant?
Nope. Instant.
Okay. As you do this, Okay. I think you get yourself ready. And how does your magic look as you do this?
She places her hands out, like essentially like on her temples, and there's just this like flash of like moonlight, and it's done.
As the flash of moonlight happens, from all your perspectives, it happens in an instant. But once again, as we've seen before, from Valentina's point of reference, this will feel like an eternity for a short time, as contradictory as that might sound. In a small instant, her memories all come rushing back to her. It seems. She seems to have that same sort of effect that the rest of you have seen. That moment of remembering. But she snaps out of it quite quickly. A lot faster than the others did. I remember a little bit more.
Are you an adult now? Do you remember that at least?
I don't really remember as much as I think I should be remembering.
Okay, someone did.
But I remember a little bit more.
Yes.
About,
Good.
I think, what probably happened to make my memories go away. I think it's regarding the scar that I got. I don't think it's necessarily an injury so much as it was like an incision, I guess.
They removed something?
Yeah. I think part of my brain.
Oh.
I'm not sure which part though, I'm just guessing. But I
That
remember
seems invasive.
I remember the magical sort of stuff that happened beforehand. Vaguely.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking I was just sort of tied down. But I think voluntarily so. See, I still don't have those memories back quite well, but I just remember not resisting while being fully aware of what was going on, I guess.
Well, they've probably used your brain in another version of you, maybe spliced with Medusa.
I wonder. That seems to be recent. I seem to just have sort of patches now, here and there. Like, I didn't really recognize Capital before, but I feel like now it's sort of more obvious that I was here at some point, stationed for some reason. It's just like little... It's like if my missing memory was kind of like a puzzle. It had none of the pieces before, but now there's a few pieces there, just kind of laid down. They don't really connect to anything else, and they're just kind of on their own. But I have little bits and pieces.
Valentina.
Yeah.
Can I run something by you and you can tell me if this sounds even vaguely legit? So, Calorel slash Zepses is using some kind of power or energy to create new bodies and put souls in them, correct?
That's probably right. I
Okay.
can't say for sure, though.
Do you have any idea how they're doing that?
I didn't remember much about either of those two before, but I have a little bit of kind of bits of pieces of information. I think they're collecting other bodies to use to fuel that. I don't think they're conjuring bodies out of nowhere.
And are they doing that through sacrifices?
That I don't know either.
Okay, I have two theories that I would just like to put out there. One, Core faces the group. They are killing people to sacrifice and bring back other people. But also, Calorel's immortal. Maybe they're siphoning their own life energy to bring these people back. Or create these new lives. Just throwing it out there.
Tamara looks like he's deep in thought, thinking for a bit. Valentina, do you have any memories at all that might help with what we're trying to do? I guess seek out I guess the only thing you could help us out with at the moment is maybe information that would either lead to Zepses or Calorel, if you can remember any of that. If that's even information that you have, or have had, or anything to do with who Calorel might be. I kind of have flashes here and there of Calorel. I don't really know who he is. Aside from that, he works for, or at least I think he works for Zepses. I don't know what their relationship is. It seems like Zepses is very, like, controlling, but not in the sense of, like, overlooking everything Calorel does. I think he's very literally controlling. Like, mind stuff. I don't know exactly what he did to me, but I also don't know exactly what they're doing together. I think they're just sort of doing some sort of experiments or something, or trying to get to some sort of conclusion or finding, and they're just trying to do whatever they can to get it done.
Why? I'm just a little confused. Are we calling him Calorel because we don't know his real name? Or is there still another being called Calorel? I thought it was Zepses that was inhabiting his body.
I don't know about that.
Their body.
I know them as two separate people.
Calorel's
who
my
is-
parent.
Oh.
The real name's
who-
Luciano, but I prefer to use Calorel.
And we think that Calorel is something else that's possessing Aliciano. Is possessing them.
Okay.
No, we think that Zepses has control over Calorel / Luciano.
Okay, that's more like that. This is actually more Emma just trying to understand. There's a lot of names, so I just wanted to make sure. Okay, cool. I think I get it.
Right,
Act as
okay.
though I do. Yes.
So Calorella's like not a real person then? Or
Elrel was a real person.
Tamar thinks
An
back.
alias?
Didn't we meet some old Calorel or something?
We did.
Yeah.
Is he involved in this in any sort of way? He did also have robes.
But that's probably Luciano's body, considering the biological resemblance to me.
Okay. Maybe that would explain why the old Calorel, as senile as he might be now, is cast away in a sort of prison dimension from which he can't escape.
Someone's taken over his identity.
Maybe.
And then we brought him back.
But I thought he was aware of Calorel.
I thought so too.
Maybe they used to work together, and this older Calorel might know something.
Unless there really is just another Calorel. So are there
I
three?
think that would be 2.
Calorel did split themselves into multiple people, but
I think that must be a spell though. I don't think there are. Unless he really is choreographing with 2 other Calorels.
that would be quite impressive.
Seems
But
a bit-
if Calorel's a fairy, we can just take Calorel's cloak. Take a look.
I guess. And see if it's their body underneath.
Well, they're not a changeling. Changeling parents dead.
As far as we know. From your memory.
Looks pretty dead.
I'm sorry, Cor.
I didn't know them.
But still.
I appreciate the sorry.
What do we do now?
Suss out Alyssa's house tomorrow.
Okay.
First step.
I think that's a good
Try
first
not to
step.
get captured by Medusa guards.
Get tattoos.
Get
Yes.
tattoos.
Get tattoos.
Ew.
Valentina? Yeah? How's your memory? I think it's slowly coming back, some of it. But I don't know. I'm remembering bits here and there, but I think it's hard to contextualize them without any additional memories.
Hmm.
Like, I remember at some point I had a paper cut. I feel like it was like a month ago. But that's just a memory on its own.
Do you remember your home here?
I remember something. I can remember an interior. I remember like a wooden sort of office with a desk with posters. I remember a figure, someone, like a henchman of sorts, and a friend who would help me out. But I can't picture their face or their name or anything about them. It's kind of sad. Do you know anything about my home?
We don't know much about you.
Okay. You said I was kind of menacing or something like that before.
You seem nicer now. You're
Well,
fairly villainous.
fairly
I
I don't think
villainous.
you are going to be menacing to us now.
I don't feel anything towards you. I still don't feel like I know you any more than I've known you already. Or at least
Okay,
none of
Drudy
you.
undoes the ropes.
Thank you. I lied. I remember everything. Runs away. No, okay.
She can certainly try.
Can you imagine if that was an actor? She was like, I was just kidding. No.
I wouldn't. I would do that if I was in her. If I was in her shoes.
That would be the ultimate like survival
It's
strategy. Yeah, but-
terrifying. Yeah.
You have to roll like
Terrifying.
deception.
I mean, I can. I guess you can kind of keep an eye on me if you don't trust me. But could I have a look around at some point during the day? I know that. And she looks to Jade. I know that you wanted to get like a rune or something in. Like
It's
tattooed.
very important.
So maybe while you're doing that, I could have a look around and just see if I could jog any of my memories. Or something like that.
Well, we'll need to go in disguises because you're all kind of standouts.
If I lived here, should I disguise myself as well?
Probably because they'll be looking for you.
Tomorrow
You might be a telltale sign that you're with us.
Definitely. I think with the whatever position you held here, I think this goes without saying that you have to disguise yourself. Yeah, we'll help you with that.
I can paint you blue.
That could work. I've never been blue before. Yeah, I think your skin is kind of similar to mine. I think people would notice very quickly. There aren't too many people who match your description. Okay, I guess we could sort that out later on in that case.
I can paint Tamar blue as well.
I don't want to be painted.
Then you can stay in the basement. Well, you need to get a tattoo. We could bring Peaches here.
We
And
know.
Peaches knows where we are.
We can put
Paint Tamar blue and he can get over it.
Yes.
Paint will go away when you tattoo.
Okay, fine.
I'll paint you pink if you really don't like blue.
Yeah. I don't have anything against the color specifically. I think it's just more the painting. I'm happy to be blue.
You don't like body paint?
It makes me feel icky. It feels like I'm coated in, well, paint.
Yes.
Well, that would make sense, seeing as it is paint coating your body where it's visible.
I'd say it feels exactly like what it is. It's just a...
Well, it seems like a irrational feeling.
Maybe it is a little bit.
Mm.
I once fell into a paint bucket as a child.
Why
Well,
is that important
maybe
now?
Jade can paint you tomorrow. Maybe you'd enjoy it more then.
Cor, what are you trying to say?
Nothing.
What's happening?
I think you're trying to say something.
No.
I don't necessarily want to paint anyone.
See, Cor?
Okay, then it'll be me painting you.
Would you enjoy that, Tamar? Jade says, as if trying to understand Core's suggestion.
Okay, how about each one of you paints one half? That way we can get the job done twice as fast.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I am enjoying myself far too much in this situation.
I will succumb to painting.
Just like my face, I think, and I'll do my hands.
You're a terrible painter, though.
I just need to cover it. I don't need to be, it doesn't need to be a masterpiece.
You will definitely miss a spot.
We will sleep now.
Okay.
Jade goes and sits in a corner to meditate.
Alright. There are a lot of beds. A lot of different kinds of beds. They're all big. They're all luxurious. They're all king plus size. Fit for many kings from many kingdoms. Should they venture to this basement, this would certainly match their tastes and sensibilities. It's up to you to decide how you spread yourselves across these many mattresses.
Would you like me to tell which ones are unused? Would that help anyone? Okay.
They've all been unused except for
I
one.
have a question. Would you like company so that I can help you with your wings?
When I sleep?
Yes, you didn't want to be alone.
Yes, I like to be held very tightly when I sleep. Please sleep with me.
Core.
Okay, I will sleep with you.
Would you like me
Core is
to
the best.
sandwich you from the other side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would. He
Okay.
looks at Drudy, and just his face is angelic.
This sounds like a lot of touching.
Jay, do you mind if I complete the sandwich?
Cole realizes his mum is there and is like,
She's just
This is-
kind of watching from the sidelines like, yes.
tonic sandwich?
Do you say that to her?
Okay.
She bursts into laughter if you say that. Oh, Core.
Jade says okay.
Thank you. And he heads over to the... He will add... Core, it's up to you to leave because he doesn't know which one Avarice
Yeah,
has slept
cool.
in. They're all
Cool,
very,
Queen Tower.
very nicely put away, very, like, clean, like, tucked in and all that stuff. And then there's one that's very ruffled. And that one is, it has, like, a sort of a velvety sort of look to it, very silken sheets.
Cole picks the bed furthest away from that one.
Okay, they're all quite far from that one. Very close together. Away from that one. Far on the other side. And you make yourself comfortable. Alaria would pick a bed on her own first, and she looks at the rest of you. If anybody would like a motherly figure to see over them while they sleep, then by all means, I don't want anybody to sleep alone. But I'll be here if you need me. I'm happy to sleep by myself if you don't need anything from me. Good night, everyone. And she tucks herself in. Valentina looks at the rest of you. I'll sleep by myself, but I guess not too far away as to be suspicious. I don't think I really want to sleep with anyone in the same bed. I hope you don't mind.
It's a bold that we would want you.
No, I didn't mean to insinuate that. I figured we should just probably make our boundaries known, you know.
Okay.
Platonic sandwiches usually work best with 3 people, so.
That's fair. I'll be in that bed over there, and it's like a bed away from you all.
Okay.
It's like one bed away from where the sandwich is happening, but a few beds away from the very edge where Alaria is sleeping. She's sleeping a lot more like to the very end. Closer to where like the entrance to this thing is. Verdridi, now it's your choice to choose between the multiple beds that there are to choose from.
Bedroll by the door.
Bedroll by the door, you are there. Now this is more like a staircase coming down from like a trapdoor type deal.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you're just near the staircase itself.
Yeah.
Or are you in full
corner
ninja
under
mode
the-
on the staircase?
No, not on the staircase, but like right next to the. If somebody is going up the stairs or coming down the stairs, she's gonna know.
All right. In that case, you and Alaria both have like a visual on each other. Like she can see you from her bed, which is at the very end of the beds, close to the entrance, and you're there, and you can see her in her bed, so that you can see each other. And with that, you all have a restful rest and a wonderful night as you doze off to sleep and restore all your HP and have a long rest if that is what you're doing, by all means. If there's anything else you'd like to do during the night, let me know. Otherwise, it will pass peacefully, as you sleep.
Question mark.
Who here, how heavy of a sleeper are all of you? And I'm guessing that Verdridi, since you're near the door, you're going to be waking up probably at night, no matter what, in this case.
Very light sleeper and passive perception of 24.
You are definitely being woken by this.
Oh,
Everybody
Jane
else?
is a light sleeper with a passive perception of 17. So
Okay.
maybe.
Maybe.
fairly light sweet sleeper. But not
Okay.
as much as Jane.
We're all light sleepers.
Tamara's a heavy sleeper. Very heavy sleeper.
That makes sense.
He's a heavy boy and a heavy sleeper. He's sinking into that mattress. You feel like the rest of you in that
Or he
bed,
just squashed.
Feel
His
like
arm is
you're-
like poking out.
it's like a gravitational well. Alara is also a fairly, not too heavy, not too light kind of a sleeper, so she probably wouldn't notice this. But, Virginia, you are woken up by the sound of a and as you wake up, you kind of assess the situation a little bit. Roll for me a perception check from your bedroll. As you're probably the first person to wake up from this.
Plus 9, 22.
22, okay. You hear a sort of crashing, crackling sound outside. In the distance. It sounds like it's coming from far away, but yet the sound is kind of loud. And it takes you only a moment of getting out of your slumber to realize that there's a thunderstorm happening outside, quite clearly.
Cool.
You hear
love that.
the sound of heavy rain
I love that.
pitter-pattering on the top of, like, on the like over the top of where you all are. You can hear it on the trapdoor more noticeably than anywhere else in the entire room. But you hear that sort of distant and then the rain. And it doesn't seem like it's any more than that. Jade, I think you might also awaken from this because it is quite loud. And the sound of the thundering thunderstorm is a lot less insulated from the basement with no house atop of it, as you might otherwise not hear it so well inside a house. So that might wake you and you get the sort of same impression. But I would like both of you to roll for me perception checks as well.
Wait, additional perception checks?
Additional.
It's Poopy. 11.
11? Okay.
I love that.
17 plus 9, 26.
26, okay. Jade, to you this sounds like a thunderstorm thundering, you hear the rain, and it sounds quite nice, peaceful almost, as you are in bed. I'm guessing warm, sandwiching. Just the rain in the background. It sounds nice. Verdridi, you're keeping an ear out. Yeah?
I will say, on a side note, Dridi had done her, like, this is something she does every single time we go down for, like, a long rest or a short rest. She does her Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow, which creates an invisible 30-foot sphere in which grants a +5 bonus to stealth and perception checks.
Okay.
Both of our perception checks should have been a lot higher.
Cool.
Would you like to add 5 to yours? I think maybe you would hear this then, as well, if you're getting this bonus. This magical boost from Verdridi's magic. There is something else that you would hear. Now, it's still the time of night, so this is before... And I just take long rests or whatever, but I'll get you to take long rests after this as well. Because this is happening, like, shortly after you would have gone to sleep. As the rain comes thundering down, and the thunder is also thundering.
Comes thundering down.
Yeah, I just realized that. It all comes thundering down. You do hear a distinct extra sound that's very hard to hear coming from above. It sounds like it's kind of close. It's the sound of footsteps.
Ow.
It just sounds like somebody's walking calmly around where the house is. And the footsteps kind of get closer and then more distant and then closer for a little bit, as if they're kind of wandering around this area.
Oh, that's bad.
They stop for a little bit, you hear them pick up again, but within a minute or so...
Have we had at least enough rest to count as a short rest?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Go on. Sorry.
After a minute,
Go on.
the footsteps seem
Continue.
to kind of get further and further away again, until you can no longer hear them even with your checks. And they kind of disappear. And the sound of the rain is all that's left. Yes.
So, hearing those footsteps, the reason I asked that question was I would like to send up a little lizard familiar to investigate.
Oh, a
Very
lizard
nice.
familiar. Okay. You send a lizard familiar. Actually, how are you getting them out? Because
Actually, rather than a lizard, I'm gonna... Actually, yeah, no, lizard works.
okay,
The alternate was gonna be a rat.
okay. So with your little lizard,
Wait, I've seen rats in the city. We'll make it a rat.
rat's it. It's okay. You send out a rat. Now, with the trapdoor above you, how are you getting the rat out of here?
I can just lift the door.
Okay, you very carefully lift the door.
How about
And
that?
let your rat go out, and you get kind of a splash of the rain as it like comes pouring down. So you have confirmation now that it really is rain, not just a magical effect making it sound like rain. You send your rat familiar out, and your rat familiar is looking around. Now, surveying the environment, I would like your rat familiar to make a perception check. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just have a looky. And a sniff as well.
Have a look-see.
Well, the look-see's pretty dang good. That's because familiar stats are different. That is a flat 17
Okay. Flat 17.
for the visual.
Okay. You see...
Oh my gosh! And for the scent, it's a natural 20.
Oh boy. Okay, so with the visual, it's hard to see immediately. So, and you get the scent, I think, very much first, because that's like immediately like that's what you pick up on. There was a scent here, and you can feel where the scent is coming from, and you immediately look in that direction. And what you see and what you smell as well is the scent of a humanoid figure, and it seems like this is
Familiar person.
The smell itself is not all that familiar. It's familiar in the sense that, like, if you smell, let's say, a dragonborn, then you could probably tell, like, that, you know, there's, like, a sort of ashy sort of smell. And you could smell that, so this is not, like, an unfamiliar sort of being from another plane.
More so like, have we met this person before kind of familiar.
I don't think you can tell that from the smell. It doesn't seem like it. Or rather, I should say, it doesn't seem like it's somebody you've met before.
Okay.
As you have a look, though, you do spy in the distance now the figure, or like the general sort of like silhouette, but you can still kind of see them. They're not totally enshrouded in darkness. Of who it is that made those footsteps when they were here. And it looks to be a guard of some sort, maybe. However, not brandishing a weapon. Although, fully covered in armor. And they're walking very slowly, surveying the buildings. And it is quite late at night at this point. It's either very, very late at night, or extremely early in the morning, but it is still just nighttime everywhere on the material plane. And you see them walking. And if you creep up a little bit and just sort of follow them from a very far distance so they can't tell where you're at, you do see them...
I'm looking through the familiar's eyes, you know, so just...
Anything that you would see, yeah.
The rat's gonna follow the guard.
Okay, so following the guard, you do see that the guard looks kind of from house to house as they walk. And now there is something that you see that you think that the guard doesn't. And it's that one of the houses in the far distance, you see, like in the wind, the banner that they've put up kind of gets lodged free and flutters away in the wind, as the guard is inspecting a different house. The guard's armor, like kind of making a ruckus as they're walking, clinging together. And with the rain and thunder pouring down, well, the thunder isn't pouring down, but the rain is. They don't notice this as the banner flies away. And you watch for a bit as they sort of walk up, and then they see the house, and they inspect it for a bit and cross their arms as if they're looking for that banner, and they don't seem to see it. And you get this sort of feeling in the pit of your stomach, like something's going to happen. And they uncross their arms and rub them together. And look like they're about to pose like they're going to do something before reaching into their suit. And they kind of lean over as if trying to shield this from the rain. And they pull out a notepad and a pen. And they start writing something down. And then they close it up. And then they slide it under the door and continue walking. And eventually at the end of the street, they make a turn. And it's up to you if you decide to keep following them. But they sort of just keep checking every house as they go.
And noting the ones that don't have banners.
It seems like it's what they're doing. Although only one house now, the one that had the banner removed by the ferocious weather, is the one that you've seen.
And that's the only thing they seem to, like, interact with is...
At the moment, yeah. It doesn't seem like there's anything much else happening outside of just that. It is quite stormy. There doesn't seem to be anybody else outside. You don't see any wildlife either in this kind of weather. And that seems to be the only thing that the guard is kind of looking out for at the moment. Although you get the feeling that maybe they'd also probably do something. Would there be some sort of, hooligan outside, causing ruckus or something like that? But that's the only thing that you see them do. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your familiar?
Not really. We're gonna go back to bed.
Alright, you go back to bed and fall back asleep. Jade, you would have heard those footsteps as well. And I think you would have seen that Virginia was awake in that moment.
I think he would have gone to look and investigate himself, but if
Actually go outside?
that's kind of
if
that's already kind of happened, then
We can say that you would have seen the same sort of stuff if you were to sneak outside, if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean,
Because Drudy would have had to go up the stairs to...
Okay.
Yeah, he would have.
They probably would have seen that.
So I think from
So,
your perspective, to rewind back, you'd see Verdridi get up and approach the exit as
Yeah,
well.
he would 100% go.
Okay, so you walk up, and Verdridi's there as well. Do you say anything to Verdridi, or you just go and just yeet out?
I just kind of like.
Well, she holds up, like, the rat to be like, I'm gonna send this out. They will not know it's...
Okay, I won't do it. It's fine.
From a regular rat.
I don't have to do it. Anyway, it'd be easier, so I'll just not.
Okay, if you don't want to.
Drudy would convey that there is a guard looking for houses that don't have Medusa's marker.
I just.
Okay. If there's nothing else you'd like to do, Jade, in that case, if you'd like to go back to sleep, then you will have enough time for your full long rest to occur if you have not yet taken it. And then, as your night passes, nothing else of much significance happens throughout the night. And you peacefully awaken and rise in the morning. Now, I want to ask, we can continue from here for a bit longer if you want to go through and have the whole tattoo thing happen today. Or if you guys need to go, we can just end it here, depending on how much time you guys have. So it's up to you.
You guys. Sunday tomorrow, right?
Sunday tomorrow for me, yeah. I'm happy to, like I said, I'm happy to go for a little bit longer if you guys want to play out that scene. But if you need
I
to...
don't mind going for like 10 minutes more. Cause I got up early this morning for... But I can... It's Sunday, so I don't mind doing a little bit more.
Okay. Just let me know if there's anything, if you guys want to wrap up or anything like that. But in that case, if you'd like to continue going for a little bit, then as you awaken and rise in the morning, you feel the sun a little bit, Rodridi, I think, and Alari would as well, as it kind of comes through...
Right into the basement.
Right into the basement! Through the cracks in between the planks of wood that are paper thin, you get these razor sharp, bright lines of the sun from above kind of shining in. You all, I think, wake up. Does anybody wake up earlier than the rest? Is there anybody wanting to do something in the morning before everybody else wakes up?
Exercise.
Exercise?
I'll do wing exercises with Jade.
Alright, wing exercises with Jade. You get up particularly early to do those. I think Tamar
We start jumping together.
would still be
See
asleep.
how we can fly.
Alara would still
Tamar
be
wakes
asleep.
up to Core's groaning.
I think if you're still in the
doing
bed,
it.
he would be awoken by that. Rodridi?
You sounded like you're about to sing Bad Romance.
Mama. Ta to mama. I have a romance.
Oh no.
We
Rodridi?
just stopped this in its tracks.
How would you go? Would you wake up early as well?
Yeah, she wakes up early every day.
Okay, you wake up with the rest of them. The only people left asleep at this point are Ilaria and Valentina, who are sleeping for a little bit longer, but they'll probably wake up shortly. Now with the exercise. You do some exercise in the morning, you jump around, and you're feeling great. Is there anything particular you'd like to do while doing these?
Feeling sweaty.
Feeling sweaty. Okay. Tamar, I think, sort of brings himself into the real world, wakes up, and looks at the rest of you as the other two also wake up, and you're all here, present and ready, in this
There's
basement.
something wrong with being sweaty in the morning.
You're doing great. I can already see the improvements.
I agree.
Oh really, Tamar? What do you see?
I see everything. Oh,
Uh-huh. Past all
Yeah.
that sleepy dust?
What? A sleepy, yes. I am dust and sleepy, actually. You look wonderful.
You make no sense.
I'm not good at making those. Making what?
Okay,
He was good at making cupcakes.
I've never.
maybe you should stick to doing that.
I've never tried making fragrances before. I've never thought about it either.
You perplex me. Go back to sleep.
He falls back down. Alara looks around. So, well, shall we attempt to make an exit somehow?
Yeah.
Okay,
But first, I'd like to go jump on Tamar until he wakes up.
go for it.
Whee!
You jump on Tamari. Okay, I'm awake. Okay, let's go.
Sure.
He sits up in bed. Yes. All right, let's go. And he
Core kind
stands
of like sponges up and down on his stomach and then jumps off.
Okay, all right. I'm awake.
That's how you do it.
These beds are very high quality. I wish I had a
Say
mattress
nothing
like this.
more.
Do you think we could come back here and pillage some of these?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I think so. There's
I
like
mean, Avros has like
there's at least 12.
20.
Yeah, even 20 or so. That's.
Well, he had more upstairs, but now they're gone.
I mean, his whole house is burnt down. I'm sure he's not going to miss these. Anyway.
Or maybe, yeah. Maybe you should like let out your spare room to him.
Oh no. I should check my. Oh no.
Oh, you didn't have a Medusa banner up, did you?
I didn't have a Medusa banner up.
That sounds like a you problem.
Oh no.
It's alright, I've always technically been homeless.
Oh, my dry
It's not that
noodle
bad.
collection.
I can be your home.
He looks at you with like wide eyes for a moment.
Who is he speaking to?
Well, hang on. I was talking to Paul.
Oh.
Tamar thinks
Oh.
Tamar thinks it was him. Then I'm not going to say anything otherwise.
He averts his eyes. Let's go.
Oh,
That was all very sentimental.
What does Core do? Does Core react at all?
Core thinks that Jane was speaking to him, and then he looks at Tamara and he's like, I won't burst his bubble. He
Tamara
winks at Jane.
looks
I
more
can
awake
also
now.
be your home too, Tamar.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks.
Would you like a morning hug?
Hug.
Yes, I can hug you
From you.
from me.
Roll an insight check.
Can I insight him as well?
You can insight him as well.
It is
19.
19.
20.
20! He would like one, but he's shy. And he might not overtly say.
Oh. Why aren't you saying what you want?
He's not very good at that.
Oh, I understand. I mean, no, I actually don't.
I mean, if you want to, I won't stop you.
He
Hug.
really wants a hug. Yeah.
I will hug you
Okay.
now. I hug him.
You hug him.
Ew, disgusting.
He
Or would
awkwardly...
you like to be sandwiched in between the hug?
No.
Can I insight check Core? 17.
Yeah, he wants to be sandwiched.
Say what you mean. I'm
He's
not
like,
good at
no!
reading social cues. Social cues genuinely destroy me, please. Driti, we could turn this into a platonic hug.
You mean it's not a platonic hug? He looks at his mum.
Well, at the moment it's only romantic. Because we're all in a relationship.
It's totally platonic.
Okay.
This can become more platonic for Judy if you'd like to join.
What is happening?
This is
This is my fault.
this is chaos, but I like it. It's the on-brand, wholesome kind of chaos that we need more of, you know.
We can
Yeah.
add Ilaria and then it will be very platonic.
Indeed.
Sorry, there was a big crash in the apartment, and I was just like, what the fuck? What did the cats get into?
Oh damn.
What did
So-
the cats get into?
They crawled into the cabinet with the pots and pans.
Oh,
Oh
No.
damn. Okay. Is everything okay?
Yeah, it's just a mess. I will be right back.
Oh.
Treaty is a no on hugs, though.
Okay. Tamar nods.
No one hugs.
No one hugs.
Ilaria wants hugs, right?
Of course. I'd love to be a fourth wheel on this tricycle, and she comes and joins you,
There we go.
and she
All
gives
right,
you a hug
off
as
we
well,
go.
and you are all invigorated and ready to take on the world as you emerge from the trapdoor. Now, is there anything
You're
you're?
painted.
Oh yeah, you need to paint everybody.
Despite what everyone says, we're painted.
I was about to leave. I forgot about the painting.
I will paint you.
Okay.
Any colour you like.
Actually, Jade, to be honest, we should probably paint you too.
That's exactly what I was inferring.
What colour would you like to be?
Pink.
Pink?
Oh!
Tamar?
Blue.
Blue.
Dabba dee dabba die. I
That was
want to
great.
die.
Dreedy, we should probably paint you too. Colour? Or you could be an animal. It's up to you.
Or I could just, if we're just... Are you planning to do your, like, tattoo thing this morning? You can
Yes.
just come back for me and anyone else who...
I have heard that splitting the party is a bad idea.
Also, Driti, you're going to get one as well, aren't you?
Why?
Because
The tattoo was just for you three.
this specific one means something slightly different. But we want to always know it's you as well. You're important to all of us, I think.
Yes, because look, and he changes it to Drudy. This could happen. We don't want that to happen.
Oh
There's
no,
only one
I am
Drudy.
confused. Which is the real Druty? I cannot tell.
We will run
The
around in
shorter
circles,
one.
Tamar, and then you would be confused. How
Trudy
tall is
says the
Drudy?
shorter one. She's 1.
That's funny.
6'1"? Hang on.
Cor can
Was
make
she
himself almost
6'3"?
exactly. He raises up on his tippy toes. He's like, "Really? Can you show you could tell?" Yep.
Oh no, Cor put on high heels. 6'1", yeah.
I look great in high heels. Don't knock it.
Mm.
No, it's true.
Yes.
I mean,
You
you
can't just
can
back.
always know it's me. And she, like, why, to make a point, she wild shapes. And it looks more floral than it does, like, animal.
Just to point out something, I think I inherited my druidic abilities from one of my parents, and I don't know if it was Calarel or not, so technically we don't know it's you. Sorry to ruin the day again.
What do you mean? Because well, she shifts back. She was a cat that was made
Well,
out of flowers, and now she's a person again.
I learned to be a wizard. I was kind of born doing the druid stuff, which I didn't pursue because it wasn't really my thing. I liked the sparkle and pizzazz of wizardry. But I probably inherited it from one of my parents. I don't know which one. I don't remember. So, just say.
Truity, what about a jasmine flower?
Oh,
Just kind of shakes her head. No, that is not mine.
What is yours?
She kind of like holds up like her hand and like this like flourish of like blue forget-me-nots and like hydrangea.
What about forget-me-nots and hydrangea? I don't know where that idea came from. It just came to me now.
Because there's like a puddle of flowers in her hand.
We could
Never
design
saw
something
that.
around that. You just can't let people see the tattoo. That's the only thing. Because then, if the changeling knows it's there, / whoever's making the disguise.
wait, where are you getting your runes?
Small of the back.
Yeah. Where were you thinking?
The same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still vividly remember there's a scene from Percy Jackson where Percy has Annabeth choose where his Achilles heel is going to be, and I just like sat back in my chair and was just like, wow, they like each other so much. And then and that's all. It was
Cute.
cute. It was such a cute scene. I remember it so strongly. That and every scene with Nico in it. Best boy.
Tamara's like partially painting himself now.
No. Core takes the brush.
Mm,
You need to paint in this direction, not
okay.
like this.
All right. And immediately as you start painting him, the paint becomes better.
See?
Brilliant.
Finesse.
Okay.
You don't have any.
Also, she quick changed back, so now she has the antlers.
So, just us three that are getting it in that case? Or is Virginie joining us?
Can't force someone to get a tattoo.
What about Ilaria?
Hilary, do you want to get a tattoo?
What kind? Oh, you're talking about the rune?
Yeah.
I'd be happy to.
Sweet.
Settled then.
Okay. Let's head out then.
Let's go.
I think Jade will hang back for a moment.
Mhm.
Just to look at Druti, and before he leaves, he'll just say, "It might be that everything feels like a lot now. That's okay. I encourage you to feel those feelings, but don't let them consume you. You're not carrying this alone. You're not. You don't have to be happy. You don't have to be the person you were before. I don't think that's an earnest representation of what you feel right now. But hold on to yourself. Don't drown.
Alright, paint me.
I did it! Treaty did it! I'm happy! Okay. Happy. Treaty.
Do the painting.
That was my favorite delivery of a line in this session so far.
Paint me.
Not pink.
Not pink. Purple?
I like it. Great. Okay, cool.
Core hears excited squealing down from the basement. He's like, Jade is really happy.
What is happening down there?
Emma. Jade does smile, though. His like eyes are a little bit bleary.
So you paint Vidridi. What color?
Purple.
You paint if you paint her lavender, oh gosh, then she looks
Like
What
mine.
about dark?
she looks just like her mum. Yeah.
Oh.
Like, except for without the horn, like the horns would be wrong, but yeah.
There would be a very strong resemblance, yeah.
Core will help Jade mix the colours since he has a good colour awareness. Jade, what colour do you like? Go on.
Also, the dark purple is the shade of her eyes, so like
Do you want to match your eyes, or do you want something on the lighter scale? We can do this.
you have aesthetic. Go for it.
Core will pick a more blue toned purple, since he's seen Judy with blue flowers and he thinks she looks nice with them.
Yeah.
Also, blue is her favorite color.
Oh,
Yes.
I like this. Okay,
Got it.
so you get a purple on the bluer side of things, and you very carefully paint your friend and fellow adventurer Vidridi. Vidridi, you are now a slightly different color. I say slightly, but it's a much different color.
Dramatically different color.
We're
Yeah.
a bag of Skittles now.
You are all color shifted. It's like somebody took the hue wheel and just spun it and stopped it somewhere.
They
You are.
moved us all one to the left.
Ooh, should I be green? Should I
Oh
be
my
green?
god, yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
We
Core
have to
turns
disguise
himself into a half
Valentina.
orc. He'll paint
Oh,
Valentina's green.
you picked Tamar's green and Jade is upset.
It's hard to you're the only walking statue I know, Jade. I have to become an actual person, you know. I can't just make this up. I have a whole inventory.
I mean,
Okay.
Drini's more of a forest green, if that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Towards, like, there's a variety of different greens.
Yeah,
for,
he's just
like-
toned into like a random half
And
orc.
Valentina's just another shade of green entirely. She's like a mintier green.
We've all
Salty
shifted
greens.
one to the left.
except for now she's something
Wait,
else.
We're a party of everyone just being fully green and living our best gay lives.
Like green screen green, you mean?
You're
That's-
all green except Koya.
And yet we're all gay.
Green is a gay color.
And
my
being a
favorite
fairy
colour
is
for a
apparently
very
gay.
long time.
And being a fairy is gay. Core is pansexual, but he'll take it.
Yeah.
So, Core, you're green. What color are you painting your mum and Valentina?
Valentina. You know, I'll let them pick. I'm feeling generous.
Alaria thinks for a bit.
If it's ugly, I will veto.
I've always liked lilac.
Lilac is passable. Valentina?
What about yellow?
No.
Ah. Those like powerful like the sun, you know?
Pick another color.
How about like a light blue, like the sky?
Baby blue. Alright, we can work with that.
Okay.
Core starts mixing.
Alright, you mix and you paint. And you are all now a colorful band of adventurers, as you were before, but now you're all different colors. And yet the same
not-
party.
Is this not going to stand out more in a city of like...
There's people with
mostly-
colourful skin everywhere.
Okay, cool.
Fantasyland. Also,
is.
we have 2 gem velociraptors just following us around.
Yeah, those are still diamond, you know. Tamara's got his little ruby stegosaurus that he's carried with him this entire time. And the giant jade one is just... It was
Why
left
don't we
at the
leave
entrance.
the big ones behind? They
You-
can
there
get
are no
up.
big ones
Big
left.
ones at the gate.
Yeah.
Why don't we leave the gems behind? So they can guard the area.
Like the basement?
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. Alright, little
I will
buddy.
leave some food. Core empties out some cords.
and they go over and start munching. All right, and don't leave. All right, let's go. All right,
Don't leave where you won't get any quartz.
and
All
you
leaves.
walk out into the outside world. Now, as you enter the outside world, it's damp when you walk on the ground, as it had just rained the night before, but now it is a nice sunny day. It looks to be closer to midday than you might have initially expected, but that's also because just the time that you went to sleep was quite late, so there was also a bit of a sleep in. And the bright, sunny sun shining down warms you up. As I'm guessing, you prepare to make your way over to the tattoo parlor / bookstore.
Yeah, bookstore.
On your way there, you kind of take into your account all of the stuff in the environment as well. You're just kind of keeping an eye on everything. I would like all of you to roll for me your individual perception checks, and I'll tell you what you will see as you walk around.
13.
15.
You know how I rolled a natural 20 last
Yeah.
time?
Oh no.
Well, that's another one.
What? Oh
Oh,
my
damn.
god! All right, so let me start with the
Two in a
others.
row.
I'll start with the others first, and then I'll get to Verdridi. Okay, so
Judy's on it.
Jade, Core, as you walk, and Verdridi as well, you'll see all of this as well. All of you see all these things that I'm going to describe to you. As you walk, you do take into your vision everything that you see, into your minds. You map everything, and you take everything into account. You see, just like you did last time you were in Capital, a wide array of humanoids and creatures from all across the many planes of existence that exist. This is a place that you know to be a big cultural hub where people from all over meet up, trade goods, and travel around. You can't see the port from here, not yet at least. While you're walking, you will get closer to there, but right now you don't see it. There does seem to be a smaller number of people out in the streets than you remember there being, as it was a sort of bustling empire before, where now it seems to be a little bit more subdued. But that could also just be because you're in this sort of more pricier district of the housing area. But as you walk, it becomes apparent to you that there are... As you walk, it does become apparent to you that there are just less people around. Not a huge amount less, but whereas it was just crowds before, now it's a little bit more walkable. It's hard to say exactly why. It did just rain, so who knows, but this kind of seems to coincide a little bit with the lack of nightlife as well before. The oppressive atmosphere that wasn't lingering before is now apparent to you as you walk. And as you walk and you see, the expressions of people's faces are a lot less carefree and joyous as they were when you were last here. Something that might have not been so apparent as you might have just taken it for granted. But now, with these sort of more subdued, concerned, and stoic expressions of everybody else around you, it seems like everybody's a little bit more on edge. Maybe a little bit more anxious. Nobody seems to really be paying too much attention to your presence here, which is both a good thing and a bit of a strange thing as well, as everybody seems to be more concerned with how they're appearing to everybody else at the moment. Nobody seems to be wearing anything different or
Good.
unusual.
I'm glad.
No one seems to be wearing
glad
anything.
I'm glad that we're all multicolored rainbows at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of colourful people as well. You do see the occasional,
Colorful skin is normal in fantasy worlds.
yeah.
I know. I just.
Oh, it's art.
Whoa!
Me.
So you see that.
Gosh, I changed.
Nothing too sus. You see the banners as well. You see guards that are walking around. Oh, we got both arts. You see guards walking about that wear a different sort of armor to the Dragonborns that were around here before. This time you see like a different sort of guard. You see all sorts of people in the guard now, and you see them kind of walking around. Some carrying very heavy weapons, and some carrying no weapons at all, but much sturdier armor. You get the initial impression that this might just be that because they're spellcasters, they might need just a bit more armor, a different kind of armor, but also don't need weapons as they're walking around. Core! So you see that. You get that sort of idea as you walk. But for the most part, it seems like people are keeping to themselves, and as you're just walking, people occasionally glance at you, as they do with anybody else passing by, and you kind of look at them, and you're just keeping an eye out for anything sus.
What?
Oh!
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, I guess I should do that too. Hold on.
No, I just.
Oh.
Yay.
But as you walk, that's the sort of impression you get. Nothing too crazy. You're just kind of keeping an eye out, and you're making your way over. And it doesn't seem like anything is immediately apparent as a source of danger. Now, Verdridi, with your slightly higher natural 20 roll, there are a few extra bits of interest that you pick up on.
Perception, right?
Perception, yeah.
So that's a natural 20 plus 9. 29.
Oh, it's so
Disgusting.
high. Disgustingly high. You are getting a map of the area, just projected into your brain. As you survey the surroundings around you, there is something that you notice first, very, very quickly, that the others don't catch on to immediately. But you do see two things that you kind of piece together quite fast. One, this kind of stems from as well, the scene that you got at night, but you've seen guards that are not Dragonborn. Now, before when you were here in Capital, all the guards were just Dragonborn. It was just the royal family and the extension of the royal family, and that's it. If you were Dragonborn, you were in there and you were part of the guard, or you were a royal yourself if you weren't part of the guard. And that's how it kind of extended across. Now, though, as you look at the guards, not only do you see guards that aren't Dragonborn, but you don't see any guards that are Dragonborn. As you kind of walk and take in your surroundings and all that stuff, you get a sort of strange sense as you perceive your surroundings with such a high degree of accuracy. You don't see any Dragonborn around at all. Initially. None walking around.
Scalies.
No scalies. You don't see any...
Sabotaged yourself.
Ah, you see plenty of animal people, though. You see tabaxi here and there. You see what looks like to be, like, a centaur as well, just walking around. So we get a good mix. Oh, the art.
I found it.
Wow.
But not only do you not see...
Like a zoom in.
It's like they're different colors as well. It's cute.
Oh wait, hang on. Let's see.
Yeah, they're different colors for me. It's like one's like this like pale sort of grey blue, and the other one's more like a beige tone. It's nice.
Huh.
But as you take that in, that's something that you notice. That not only are there no Dragonborn guard around, but there are also no Dragonborn around, period.
That's a bit sus.
A bit sus.
Quite sus.
But that is kind of a bit more niche sort of thing that you might pick up on. Outside of that, it also does seem like you get the perception, again, from your very high roll, that it seems like there are a lot less people who look like they've come directly off of a boat here. In terms of, like, navigators, captains, cartographers, and the types of crew members that you expect to be coming from the port. As if a lot of ships were around and a lot of trading was going on. You don't see a lot of people who seem to match that sort of description in your mind. Instead, you just see a lot more people that look like they're more local and who live here all the time, versus travelers. And that kind of seems to sit in your head a little bit more. Whereas the others might just see that it's just less people. I think you'd kind of be able to, with a natural 20 roll, be able to perceive that there are the same amount of locals here as they always were, but there are far less tourists than there were before.
That's going to do a number on the economy.
That will do a number on the economy. That's going to be... That sticks in your mind as well. If you're thinking about that at all, then...
Jade doesn't understand such concepts, but Emma is.
Well, Jade, aren't you a ship captain?
What?
You're a ship captain, right?
Oh, yeah.
True.
That
You're a
was
dying breed now.
But that's the sort of information that you glean. I think those are the little extras that you would get, which would, I guess, give you a bit more insight into maybe what's going on here, and you can draw your own conclusions from there. But with a natural 20 perception roll, I think that's what you would get. With that, you all walk and make your way to the parlor, and this time around, it looks like it's bustling, with at least a couple of people inside. You see Peaches manning the counter, currently looking down. Yes.
Did you see the message that I sent?
Oh, did you send a message? Hold on. Let me have a look. Yeah. All good, all good, all good.
Okay.
So, well, I'll ask now, actually. If you want...
Approaching the tattoo parlor, Jade will just turn to the others one more time and just say, I think this is... I guess this is the last chance you guys have to say no to this, but...
I'm in, says Tamar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I didn't want to do something, I wouldn't do it.
Alaria nods.
She can confirm.
She nods, again.
Okay.
Are you feeling uneasy, Jade? Tamar
No,
asks.
I just... In fact, I think this will make me feel much better.
What's wrong?
I think
I
Jade...
said this will make me feel much better.
No, what's wrong? You gotta feel
The
better.
usual.
You're feeling great.
The usual. I suppose.
What's that?
You and I have the same fear core. Down to the bone. If I have any.
Let's go get some tattoos. Cole walks ahead.
After you, Jade.
Does Cole have any response to that at all, or is he just does he like, and even if it's not something he says, just like in his face.
I think he just slightly nods. I don't think he's gonna express anything particularly personal in a group setting.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why Jade wasn't saying directly. Okay, he smiles and heads inside with all of you.
And as you head inside, and you greet Peaches and Peaches greets you, you have a small catch-up with her. She seems to understand who you are. She remembers you all, and is gleeful to see you.
We're all disguised.
Roll disguise,
Yeah, you're painted.
Should
How-
we roll disguise on that?
You can.
Or
Could
just
probably
How
deception?
now outside of your body
I can go
paint?
at the front because I am actually different.
Okay. Okay. I think as you enter, we'll do it like this, okay? Before we roll disguise or anything like that, I will say that the pivotal point, we'll put a bookmark in this, is as you enter the store, as you see Peaches there who looks up at you with a sort of unreadable expression at first, we will wrap it up here. As you enter Peaches' laboratory of deeds and services. And we'll continue and see where it goes and how your disguises work on Peaches next time.
Sounds good.
I think this will be it, because now we're about to get into another sort of scene as well. So I think this will be a good point to put a pause in it and continue in 2 weeks from now with the next Shiny Boys. So thank you very much for playing, all of you, with us today. Lots of love. Appreciate you. I hope it wasn't too long. It was just a tiny bit longer than usual, but it'll be good. I'm excited for the next session that we're going to have in 2 weeks from now. If anybody else is excited for more D&D, we're going to be back with the D&D tomorrow. And also, finally, before I wrap up or anything like that, big shout outs again to the sponsor, JJ Malibu. Check them out. Go to the website, jjmalibu.com. Use my promo code BarinAde15 for 15% off if you'd like to buy some nice, crazy, funky, colorful, fresh, aesthetic clothing. They've got you covered right then and there. So, I'll leave it at that, and I'll catch everybody next time. So, lots of love. Ciao for now.